And we're live.
Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects and the like. Thanks for joining me today as we uncover the mysteries of the Mandela effect itself and find out the true meaning of it all. We must discover what is really happening, what is really going on here, to change these things that we know and hold dear to us. And let us help others discover the meaning of the Mandela effect and how it affects them and the price of milk. Thank you.
No, I don't take. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects and the like. Thank you for joining in. Welcome all Mandela effectians. So we have a special guest for you guys tonight. Crazies Lab has joined us from his YouTube channel. Let's give him a warm welcome. Hey Crazies Lab, welcome.
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 Everybody.
Hello. And hello, everybody in the chat.
Yes, hello everybody to the chat. Astro, if you don't mind, keep an eye out for questions from the chat and pass them off to Teresa, maybe?
No,
Yes,
Esther's
sir.
doing the Q&A completely. She's doing
Q&A
the questions
completely.
and reading them. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're set.
We are all set.
All right, so Crazies Lab, how long have you been going with your YouTube channel, first of all?
Well, this one, I've been doing YouTube, gosh, since I can almost remember. It feels like a Super Bowl years. I was actually on the YouTube side, and then I've had my spiritual awakening. So I've been doing this channel, this kind of Mandela Effect spiritual thing for about 3.5 years now. So, which isn't bad. I like it.
Wow. I love your background, your lighting and everything is pretty cool. It's a
Working
nice
on it.
setup.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So my first question, really, concerning the Mandela, is when did you first become aware of the Mandela effect?
I'd have to say it was probably about 5 years ago. I was watching television or watching YouTube, and it's guy when his VHS and Forrest Gump. Yeah, that was the one. It was life was like a box of chocolate, and I was like, that ain't right, and it just clicked. And it's like what? And then I think that's when you jump down that rabbit hole. So I have to say about 5 years ago.
Wow. So 5 years, that would have made it what, 2018?
18, yeah, I have
Yeah.
to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So why did you decide to start speaking publicly about the Mandela effect?
Well,
And are there any other related topics or additional
to it.
things you want to mention?
I guess what really got me started to really talk about the Mandela effect was, with me, I'm a psychedelic shaman, in case everybody, out there does know, I do study that kind of stuff and part of the spiritual awakening. And it's the Mandela effect just not set me into a new set of way of thinking of what kind of world we live in or what we have around, but it was also an easier way, not just for myself to see, but for people to wake up, to open their eyes to this world, to see what's going on, to an old memory, I guess. And that's really what it is. It's to help people understand, kind of what they're going through. Waking up is terrible, but it's hard. And sometimes this is actually the Mandela effect is actually one of the easiest ways I think you can show people, you know, really what's going on in the world in a sense of realities. That makes sense.
Well said. Well said. Uh, that makes perfect sense. So what was the first ME that made you realize that this was more than just some trending YouTube topic? And what are your
Uh,
top three anchor Mandela effects? I know that's kind of a convoluted question, but kind
oh
of a
man,
loaded
I said,
question there.
yeah, but besides Forrest Gump, like I said, it led me down that rabbit hole. Definitely, I'm a Star Wars kid. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. Luke, I am your father. Destroyed me. I think that was the one that was the main thing that destroyed me. I think that was just terrible. And my gosh, from there, Shazam, I mean, Forrest Gump, Snow White and Seven Doors, Mirror, Mirror, and I had to say almost Michael now these days, but The Wizard of Oz too. So I mean, you could almost put all of it in one, but I think those are probably my top Mandela effects, and that's pretty much what got me in down that rabbit hole even more.
Well, yes, yeah, I'm a Star Wars fan as well, and the Luke, I'm your father changed for me, and it's no longer the same way. It changes the whole theme of the movie, in my opinion.
Everything. I
Um,
think I'm one of those. We all, especially with memory, we remember certain things at certain times, and that was a time. That was that moment, that time, and wherever you were at when you heard that, you were like, "Oh, damn! I can't believe he's his father." And I think that's what it's like. Oh, the moment for me. I don't know. Shit breaks my heart, but it's not it now. So
well, the changes they seem to happen so rapidly. We've got, I think, well over 3,000 or more documented. But in your opinion, which theory do you believe is the most likely reason that the Mandela effect is happening?
now that's a good one. I've been thinking about this question. Even myself lately has been thinking about this question. And I would have to say I have to put multiple dimensions, CERN messing up with the time continuum, the whole magnetic field. It would have taken in the multiverse, but AI. I think AI has a lot to do with it. I think it's just us waking up and the AI is just trying to recreate things and doesn't know how to, he doesn't remember everything. It forgets something, but it doesn't. It's weird. But that's kind of my thought. Yeah. So I used to think, I don't know. It's still CERN and AI. CERN, ever since they turned on that Hydra Collider, I think everything just really just went black. And I think all dimensions are just crawling for one
Yeah.
right now. I don't.
Did you or do you have an iPhone?
No, I don't actually. I have enjoyed.
Yeah, me too. I'm an Android all the way. But I used to have an iPhone, and back in 2012, I think, when we thought the world was going to come to an end at some point, I think, because of the Mayan calendar was supposedly ending December
Yeah.
21st, 2012. Everybody remember that? Well, it was around that time. I think it was October of 2012, and I was working in a computer shop, actually, where I did repairs on computers. Um, that's when I started to notice things like the Samsung logo for me was messed up. Uh, but I had no idea. I thought it was just a company change. Like I thought they just changed their logo. But there was something else I noticed in that same year. It was Siri had this thing where if you ask Siri um, about a certain date, and it led to, I think it was July 14th, 2014 or something like that, July 7th. It said that was opening the gates of Hades. And I'm like, what? But then you find out later in 2014 that it turns out that they were doing some odd rituals outside the CERN.
The
And,
CERN.
and yeah, and the fact that they have this giant statue out there that's of this Hindu god, or is it god or goddess? I can't even tell. But
It's supposed to be Shiva.
it's
Shiva could be Hindu, it could be man or
right,
female, I guess.
but it's the destroyer. You know what I'm saying? Like their overall
Ghostbusters.
theme, it's just, and then they have a ritual where there's a goat coming out of the abyss or something like that. It was pretty odd what was going on back then in 2014. A lot of connections. Just seems like just seems like they seem to be the scapegoat for the Mandela effect. I feel, you know, the
And
Hadron
when they
Collider. Uh,
and when they put that poster out with them holding the bond thing up,
mhm.
and at the bond change, with the braces, it's almost like they're thrown in our face, and we really didn't want to look at it like that at first.
No, not at all. Um, But with that, to kind of go along with that last question here, are there any theories that you do not believe is the reason behind our realities changing? And if so, what led you to that decision or that conclusion?
Well, I for a moment, I think a lot of us were going down the rabbit hole, or not the thought pattern of maybe God, creator, was changing it. But I have come to the conclusion it's not God. The only reason why I say it's not God doing the Mandela effect is because God. I mean, if you look in the Bible, he says you only, the scepter will change everything. And with the Bible changing, God would change the Bible. I don't think he would do. I don't think they would do so. He would do something like that. The source would do something like that. That's the reason, pretty much. I don't think God has anything to do with it. If anything, maybe our vibrations here on Earth, our collective, all of us waking up is what's causing the AI or the system or the main mother computer, whatever you want to call it. Maybe I don't know, but it's not God. Yeah, I definitely know that it can't be God. But I do think that God is showing us this Mandela effect for us to wake up to see the truth. But other than that, not him.
So you don't think he's responsible for the Mandela effect, right?
Well, no, no,
No.
no.
Do you feel like it's an evil? Do you feel like it might be evil, the Mandela effect? Like some of the
That's
changes?
I don't know if it could be evil or not. The day in this age, it's hard to pass. I think it is like I said, it could probably be a deceptive tool of something, or maybe AI trying to get a hold of us and trying to wake us up to what's going on. Or I mean, it could be evil. Only thing I could think, I think of evil. I go towards the Bible area, now wolf lays the land, that kind of stuff. I go that way, and I'm thinking, you know, something evil would do that. But if you look at anything evil, you go to CERN or AI. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's probably what it is. I
And,
would
and see
say
that
natural and
20.
sense.
I feel like 2023 seems like so far it's just all you hear in the news is AI, AI, AI. So the
Yeah.
AI is getting a bit more. What do you call that?
Self-aware,
Yeah,
more
self-aware.
brought out into the
Yeah.
bright. And that's kind of where I think why I think of that. They don't put things in our hands until they've tested it for
And
10,
see,
20
they
years.
can put whatever protections in place, like the ethical. Yeah, sure, it sounds great. They're putting all these protections in place. However, the AI could decide at any moment that they don't need mankind anymore. That's just my opinion.
I
Um,
agree with you. And
you
I
know,
may,
it,
and I think a lot of this could be AI doing, especially with the Mandela
mhm.
effects and how often it happens. I mean, especially right now, we don't see that many, but as much as
Well,
we did. So,
do you
who knows?
subscribe to the? I was going to ask you if you subscribe to the time travel theory at all. If that.
I, I do. I actually have. Was watching some of the moon thing there a minute ago. That's
we're
funny
we're
you
gonna
said that.
Yeah, but we're gonna go on to our next question, and I think Teresa, you've got the mic.
So, thank you, Brian.
Yep, thank you, Crazies Lab. Good to have you
Brian,
on.
Brian,
Thank you.
check your messages, please.
Okay, hold on.
Are you ready for me?
All day long.
Okay, number 6, I believe, Sandy. Am I correct?
Yes, you are not. You are in the orange. Teresa.
Okay. Lee, do you believe that some Mandela effects have a hidden or coded message? If so, can you explain this further or give some examples?
That's been one of my things. I do think they do have messages behind it all. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of, I can go, we can go with Forrest Gump. You know, life is a block of chocolate now was.
Mm-hmm.
Life doesn't seem like it was like it is anymore. Like we kind of know what it is, what life's about right now. It's kind of that kind of sense. I don't, you know, it's just hard to put these messages together. And I think that's the really, we all could have it and have an idea of what they're trying to tell us and what it's trying to tell us. And it could be anything. But I definitely think there is a message. Um, as I'm trying to think, I'm thinking of the Wizard of Oz because I think that movie's been hit so hard and it's not the same movie anymore. And I think that's probably the one that is probably trying to tell us the most. And that's, you know, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. It's like, well, nobody knows where we're at. That's kind of how I think about that. Like, we don't know what timeline we're at, neither does she anymore. Her slippers, with the bow on it now, or her socks, being not white but blue. So they've messed the sky up, looking the sky to blue. I'm thinking of this stuff right now. And it it is. It can make you go crazy thinking about it, though. Definitely make you go crazy.
Teresa,
I think I lost it.
did we lose Teresa?
I'm here.
Okay, next question, Teresa.
Hello. Okay.
I hear you.
Do you believe that some Mandela effects have a hidden or coded message? I already said that, didn't I? I'm sorry. Do you believe the Mandela effect shares something in common that allows us to see, remember, or past realities? Or do you believe every person is affected to some degree, but most deny it and or choose not to see it? It's a long question.
I had to pull it.
You want me to repeat the question again? You want me to do that?
If you would, if you may.
Okay. Do you believe the Mandela effect affected shares something in common that allows us to see or remember our past realities? Do you believe every person is affected to some degree, but most deny it or choose not to see it? Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, I do believe that, the Mandela effect does help us click back into our old memories, especially our generations. And, I think is most affected by it. And it keeps us in tune with our memories. And plus, it also makes us go back into our memories too, kind of remember those days. You know, it's one of those things. And, with people denying it, and what was the second part of that? I'll make sure I answer it now.
Teresa, what are you doing? Teresa.
She might be having difficulties.
Difficulties. Yeah.
Can you
I
hear
think She
me?
is. Now we can hear you.
And
Yes.
now we
I have the best internet now. This should be working.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
All right. Lee, the question was, do you believe every person is affected to some degree, but most deny it or choose not to see it? You heard me, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The people, I do believe both people do see it. Then I do think if the ones that deny it maybe just don't want to see it or are not supposed to see it at a time. I think
I agree.
we
I
all
agree.
we all wake up at a different time. Different, if you're meant to see it, you're meant to see it. If it hits you, you're gonna want to dive down that hole. And if you deny it, you're ignore it. I think that's one of those, they're already programmed doing something else.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's weird to say.
Yeah. Next question. Do you see the Mandela effect as a negative or positive phenomenon? And why do you feel this way?
Oh, I think it's very positive. I think the reason why I think it's positive is because it shows people, I know this might sound weird, but it shows people that we don't live in the reality that we either grew up in or we've all been taught. Yeah, I think that's one of those things. It shows that anything can be changed at any moment. And it's something that, you know, it can bring positivity in your life, because I think if you do wake up on, especially open up your eyes to, especially the Mandela effect, is such an easy way to just open your mind to that new level. But for most people, when they do open their mind, they feel a little bit happier about it, because maybe it might answer some of their questions in life. Who knows? But I do think it is positive. It brings you closer to those people who might understand you a little bit better. Collective.
I'm wondering if we just can't hear her.
I think something about her internet connection. It goes in and out.
I did hear that we were having a solar flare, like unlike any other today, that could be affecting internet.
Sandy, can you hear me?
We hear you
Sandy?
now.
I was
Yeah.
Oh, that is so weird. No, I have the top tier internet now. I went up. It better be working.
That'll work.
Seriously. Okay. You have mentioned differences in the Bible due to the Mandela effect. Can you share more about this and possible implications? Have you noticed any Bible changes? I mean, does this affect you? If not, you don't have to answer it.
I wouldn't. I guess it would, if it does affect me. It would affect me more,
Yeah.
if I was more, I guess if I was still on that page of spirituality, I guess,
Yeah.
a different level, I guess, and that's weird to say that way, but with it change, especially, the lion and the lamb, the wolf and the lamb.
Yes.
Boys
The
do.
lion and the lamb. I was like,
Yeah.
what do you mean wolf? And I never heard of the wolf being part of this.
Yeah. I think, and you see all those sculptures or these books, even the kids' books. It's funny, I think about it. I remember having a kid book with the Lion and the Lamb, and it was
Me
one of those
too.
gold binded green. I could see the book in my hand.
I grew up Catholic, and when I went to Catholic school, that's all I remember was the lion and the lamb. So yeah, this was a big one for me.
And from there, now we got, the jealous God. His name is now Jealous. And
What?
yeah,
No.
you know his name is now. He knows I be a jealous God. My name is Jealous. It's something I can't. But it's it does bother me, but at the same time it doesn't, because I think the Mandela effects that happen, and they mess with history, certain times, certain places, putting places in places, maybe different wars and stuff. But it's only stuff that can be manipulated, and that's the reason why that doesn't bother me so much. Just because I feel like that's just been rewritten so many times. It's just something that's just been soured, can be effective. Plus, I've heard that is one of the first things they brought through the portal when they opened it up. So that was one of the things they had, in that whole thing. So
did you think Stern was part of this? All these
day
changes?
long.
Wow.
Stern was trying to open up the portal. They were trying to open up the portal gate, watch any kind of anime, that some people would say, but yeah, they opened up the portal. They had to have gifts, and they have to change certain things so many times to let something come through. Why not?
Oh, that's scary. That's scary.
Yeah, you have to change something in this altered reality for it to be here.
Yeah, I woke up to this effect in 2016, December. Skechers was mine, my big one, Skechers. Yeah, I'm like, where's my damn tea?
Where's the tea at? I know, that's stupid.
Where's my tea?
I get mad because a couple months ago, or it was like maybe a half a year ago, at the beginning of the year, Skechers did that commercial with Mr. T, saying there is a tea of Skechers. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I think you
Brian
did.
Stabley covered it. Remember, we talked about it when he was here.
All right, I'm bad.
I'm sorry, that right there, I think that was also that nice throw in your face.
No.
Nobody's going to get it, but nobody's going to, some people are going to get it when they get it. nobody's gonna really get it.
There definitely was a T, because I remember the T for Teresa, which is my name. That's how I remember the darn T. You know,
And
and I have
it was a
2
T.
pairs of Skechers that are in my closet. I'm scared to wear them now. They're like on my shelf. Scared of them.
It was a T. You disappear.
Yep. It
You look for
disappeared.
the
I'm like,
wall.
where are
It
you?
disappeared. Where'd the T go? Now you just be Arisa.
That's what woke me up with my shoes.
That's crazy.
My shoes. I'm like,
That's
where
crazy.
are you? Yeah, my poor shoes are haunted.
But yeah,
Jeff, I think I think Jeff's next.
Yeah.
Jeff, are you next? Thank you
Yes.
for let me interview you, Lee. So nice to meet
more
you.
than welcome. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let Jeff take over, and I'm gonna mute myself. Jeff, thank you again, Lee.
All right.
No, I'm not
Welcome.
leaving. I'm just gonna mute myself. Okay. Thank you, Lee.
All right, Lee, has the Mandela effect affected your personal life and relationships in any way? For example, angering friends and family? And do you know anyone offline who is also affected that you can talk with about the ME?
Yeah, I would definitely say it has affected my life. Um, both great, good and positive, negative and positive. I think the worst, is probably my family. Um, just because, I can bring it up to them and it's like talking to an NPC, it's just, it goes right over their heads. They're not so
Mhm.
interested about it. It makes me look crazy, like crazy. Even with my friends, some of my coworkers in the past were the same way too. It was, you bring up certain things and you try to change a conversation with people, then it's really hard to do that with that certain thing. And it does. It makes you look a little crazy. And
Yeah.
what I do, it's crazy now, more I've opened up about it, I find more people, especially in this community, but also outside of this community, especially I have my neighbor over here. We have a ball at it, actually. We love messing with people about the Mandela effect. And I think that's really cool too. Because every time like friends come over or something like that, and I look at my boy like, "You want to get him with what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go get him." And will blow their minds, they'll be shocked, and it's pretty interesting to see that happen. And
Yeah.
it's the positivity side too, because I've been seeing, more that I get away from people ignoring it or trying to kind of staying on that tune. I'm like, okay, you don't want to see it. Fine. You get to see the
It
more.
is kind of a fun game to play with people because you're going to freak them out. You're going to get them with this stuff, whether they deny it or not.
Yeah, by far, especially, our age. You bring up, especially the Genie movie. You see
Oh,
them, they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, he's talking about the Sinbad." That's the first one they go to. Nine
Yep.
times out of 10. That's the first one they go to. They don't go to Shaq.
Right.
And I think I'm like, well, you never worked. Oh,
Yeah. Everybody remembers that movie pretty much.
we all,
And
even
it's not
Sinbad
like we're
himself.
getting two guys confused who look nothing alike. I mean, they don't look anything
No,
alike. So
no,
it's
nothing
ridiculous that
alike.
anybody, compares it to the one with Shaq.
That's yeah, that's what I'm like. How can they? You can't. It's like, no way, no way in hell.
All right. Next question is, have you ever observed any changes happen in real time? Some examples would be an image changing in front of you, or a song lyric changing mid-song, or geographic changes in your area.
Not geographic stuff or anything like that. But I had to be Phil Collins in the air tonight. I was sitting there driving and it was on, and my ears heard "Oh Lord," and I'm sitting here like that. I thought it was "Hold On," not "Oh Lord."
Yep.
And but right there, I was like, "No way!" And then for a second, it dropped back to the old one, and I was like, "That's so weird." And then it just stayed back on the new one. I was like, "Oh well, that might be it." And I went back and I looked up the lyrics. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Oh Lord!" It's like you never said that.
No, it was Hold On. I
Hold on,
agree.
yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah,
think
I
I
noticed
think
that one
that's
too.
those, and I think those are what kind of weirds me out sometimes is when you hear something or you see something, you're like, hold up, was that right? I remember that way, or is that different? And it and when it is the way it wasn't, you're like, oh yeah, it's things again.
Yeah, it's weird. It happens a lot, and you're like, what's going on here? And then find out about the ME, and it's like, okay, it all makes sense now. This stuff
Yeah,
did change.
all of it changed, and it's like no. It was like me actually. I was watching Aliens last night with the second one, and I swear this dude's patch was different. The colonel, when they were knocking on the door, his whole patch was different on his arm, but I it was late. I don't remember. I don't remember how that patch looked, and I still don't remember how that patch looked. But it didn't look like that patch.
Yeah, it's just because it stands out, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next one is: have you experienced any changes in yourself, such as changes in your appearance, health, personality, etc., since becoming affected?
That one, I'd have to say I'm not completely sure. With Mandela effects and seeing this all possibly. Um, but actually, now that I think about it, I'm thinking about this stuff. I never had a birthmark on the back of my head, and I cut my own hair, so I
Hmm.
know my head. And the other day, it was about a month ago, I was cutting my hair and I noticed a birthmark on the back of my head. I was like,
Oh,
really?
wow.
And I thought that was, to me, that was, I didn't even think that was weird, but in a sense, I also can't put a little effect on that part with maybe dimensions. With me and my spirituality, I've leveled up in a sense, so I don't know, but yeah, I guess I could say yes, but I don't know if it could be that, where we're going through elevation, frequencies, it could be
Hmm.
anything, but definitely. That is, I can't, and that is one thing though, the birthmark on the back of my head.
That's interesting.
The other thing is, I don't know how long it's been there. It could have been there since that's the weird thing.
Yeah.
But if it ever disappears, I'm gonna know. Then I'm like, yep, the old.
All right. The next one is: have you experienced ringing in the ear, sleep disturbance, change in your sleep patterns, or any changes in behavior since becoming affected? That sounds like a doctor's question.
That's a doctor's question, and man, I can say yes to that, but I also, like I said, I'm a shamanry. I do say shamanry, and my sleep pattern's weird anyway. But
Hmm.
it's you know, I would probably say yeah. The first, you know, half a year when I first was waking up to the Mandela effect, it was on my mind. I felt like I was dreaming the Mandela effect. So, I had to say yeah. I remembered how, gosh, yeah, I dreamt about that damn thing. Thinking what's going to change next, where's it going, who's doing it.
Yeah, I know I was having a lot of weird dreams when I first became officially affected. I mean, I noticed changes years ago, but when I first became officially affected, I was having some weird dreams right after that.
That's the weird thing. It's like, now am I dreaming? Come up, am I Dorothy? You know,
Right? And you're right,
not a dream anymore.
that movie pretty much sums it up. There's so many changes in that.
Reality. I won't go back home. I just want to get
Yeah.
back home.
All right. And my last one is: in your opinion, do you think the Emmys are slowing down, speeding up, or are a constant that varies in intensity and frequency? And why do you believe this?
Uh, I think I don't, that's hard. I think for the people waking up for the Mandela effect, I think it seems fast. I think they're seeing each and every one of them. I think it's just falling their feet over and over again. And, I can understand that. That happened to me when you first jump in it, you just, that's the hole you dive down.
Hmm.
I think for us as Mendelians, I love that word. We, we're so, we notice it. We've noticed it so much that I think it has started to slow down for us.
Hmm.
Just because I think it's trying to catch up. The rest of the world is trying to catch up. 'Cause I
Oh,
think
yeah,
at the
definitely.
beginning of the year, or the beginning of the last, actually this year, I felt like all those MEs that we all talked about, 5 years ago, six, all started coming back up, and everybody thought they were all new.
Yep.
And
Yeah, new people
it's
noticing
weird.
it.
Yeah, it was just like it was a different time of everything going on. But I also do think it's frequencies. I think when people wake up, we all wake up in certain ways. I think it's also a frequency. I think
Yeah,
we
I
see what we
agree.
see at a different height of frequencies, and the more you wake up, the more you see.
Yeah, I know. I noticed some changes way later than other people, so I definitely think we noticed them at different times, and they are
Right.
speeding up too.
Yeah, I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more of them now, just because they are. I mean, they're all coming out. I'm like praying hands. That one still is like, wait till the whole world gets this one. That's just all.
Right? Yeah, that one's crazy.
But it is going to. It's like the more people wake up, faster they're going to see it, and where you have to say, well, now the system's got to catch up and make some more,
Yeah,
or revamp the world again.
and people need to catch up and see that this is really going on, and it's
Yes.
not misremembering.
No, not misremembering. It's not false memories, not Alzheimer's, dementia, CET, or whatever you want to call it. None of that
Right.
crap. I
It's so
mean,
insulting that they even say that.
oh, I hate it. I hate it. And even for me, it's like, and I was like, I'm a psychedelic and a shaman. I'm like, I've dived down so many holes. I can remember everything. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, I mean, I can't remember what I ate 2 weeks ago, but
Me either.
was nothing happening that was supposed to remind me of that meal. But most of the things in this world, like movies or songs and stuff, we're always doing something that's going to remind us of that time, what we were doing.
Right. And we've seen these things over and over again in our life so many times. It's not like we experienced something once and misremembered it. These are things that we've seen over and over again, and now they're different.
I agree. I agree. And it's, to me, I think it's like us as 70s, 80s, and early 90s kids, we grew up on television. So we remember all the fucking commercials back in the day.
Right. Exactly.
What we watched, we knew there was Jiffy, Jiffy,
Hmm.
peanut butter. We knew it was Fruit Loops the way it was spelled. We knew it was Tiny Toons with the tune.
Yep.
We knew what it was. And the tunes, the cartoons, sorry.
Yeah.
And we grew up with that. And I think that's what people forget
Right.
too. It's like, oh,
We
we're
know what
getting
we
old.
saw, and they're like
Yeah.
over whatever this is overwriting or rewriting like our whole childhood.
It's just it's trying to rewrite everything in history. And it's like even 9/11, I think that is something that's so impaled in people's minds. I think that is probably a spot where they might go back changing things,
Yeah.
just because it was so much fear and everybody remembers 9/11, but nobody remembers anything else that went on in that world that day. And that's
Nope.
perfect spot to change everything in the world. I guess
It
if I
is.
would do
Yeah.
it. And that's probably what they might have did. You never know. So
Yeah. I actually started noticing a lot of changes back then, but there was no term Mandela effect back then. I just thought, oh, wow, I guess I remembered that wrong. I didn't know any better.
and it's funny that even now with what's going on with even with Mandela, give or take when he died, I'm seeing that people remember it was like in the late '90s, mid '90s. So I remember him passing away too. Like this is crazy.
Yeah,
It's like, but it's we all live in crazy. We all live in a different world at different times, but it's all one.
definitely. All right. So next is who's
Me.
next?
I'm next.
Andy.
And before we get started, Lee, hello.
Yeah.
I want to say in the chat, this is your final warning. We have a couple more questions before we get to the Q&A. So if you have any questions, this is the time to get it in the chat. Esther is looking for your questions right now. Okay, so here we go. Lee, do you think the changes to weather, cloud patterns, natural disasters, etc., are related to the Mandela effect?
Ooh, I looked at one question too, and I was trying to think about that. Um, Historically, on paper, like we just talked about 9/11, everybody there was a hurricane that was supposed to hit that way that nobody ever knew about, that we did know about, that disappeared. I think could be affected by it. I don't know. I mean, with the world being changed, I think it definitely could, everything continent-wise all moving over. There's no ice on, the North Pole, and
Hmm.
definitely could be. It's just from that standpoint, it's hard to tell, but especially weather-wise, government, but maybe who knows? I think
Well, when I say
that's
weather, I'm also talking about the fact that there's like 17 different types of rainbows that we didn't have,
oh,
like moon goes and stuff
yeah, the
like
moon
that.
patterns. Oh, that even
Hmm.
yeah, definitely. The
Yeah.
moon, the crescent moon, cluster moon. Yeah, that's
The
weird
amount
to
of
me.
clouds that we have now. I just found a new cloud that I'm going to be covering. It's called a cumulus cloud. That never existed
Cumulus.
in my yeah, fumes, like fumes from a yeah,
I thought
cumulus.
there was three clouds: luminous, glominous. You had the light
There's
one,
like
dark one, and a gray one.
15 or 20 now.
It's crazy. So like, even I
That's what
remember. I
I'm
was like, it's
talking
cool.
about.
So there was a cycle of it. I remember the cycle.
Yeah. All right.
But
So,
yeah, I
uh,
guess the rainbow changing. Yeah, all the blood, all the moons that have every different color and name to it now. It's like, yeah, nobody knows.
agreed.
That's what they did. It definitely has changed, especially the moon phases. I think that's the creepiest.
Yeah, that is creepy. I completely agree. Also, the
The
moon in the
moon.
daytime for me is creepy.
Oh, my daughter saw that the other day. We were where we were at. We were driving, and it had to be like 10 o'clock in the morning. I live in Florida, and it's supposed to be gone. He was like, "What is the moon doing out, Daddy?" I was like, "I don't know, but it needs to go back to sleep. It needs to go to sleep. The sun's out."
Yeah, it does.
It's not supposed to be out. I was like, "I know it's not supposed to be out, child. You can't tell it to go to sleep." But she noticed it too. She's like, "That's so weird." I was like, "I
That's
know, baby."
adorable, though.
But even she sees certain things too, and it's it's kind of our world is now. It's trying to show her little things and keep her eye and remember these things that you grow up on. They change in life.
That's awesome. Um, do you think that the laws of physics are changing or believe they are different in this reality?
Oh yeah, um, yeah, definitely. I Yeah, I do think physics is law of physics. Everything's changed. Even our physical self is changing with through this. I mean, if it's because of you know different dimensions, frequencies, I do believe though. I do believe we evolved. We are all changed. Physics is the law of physics has changed. Rain doesn't rain the same way. Snow doesn't look the same anymore. The sun, I think the colors
Hmm.
itself, anything, and it's just all really weird, and it doesn't seem right. It
Nothing's right.
almost seems, yeah, it almost seems like, they're just ready to hand us the keyboard and our controller so we can just go ahead and play our game. It is weird, and I think physically our bodies were changing anyway. I think with the Mandela effect, especially with our body, with our eye sockets, and the bones behind them, or our kidneys being upwards behind, now protected a lot better. Even the heart being moved, being protected a lot better. I think that's, a change that is happening, that really is happening to us
Hmm.
ourselves, just because the world is physiologically changing itself too. So,
Yeah, we have to
with all this,
adapt.
yeah, everything has to change. And even with this, I think with the Mandela effect, I think that is the part of the quantum computer AI doing whatever it does, trying to tell us this is what's shifting, especially body wise and certain things like that. I think that might be it. I think we're moving into another frequency, and so our body has to change into a new world. Has to be more protected. Our
Okay.
soul has to be more protected. It's weird. Oh no,
That's not weird.
there's a lot.
I get it. How do you respond to skeptics and deniers who dismiss the Mandela effect as misremembering, or false memories? And why do you believe they cannot or refuse to see or acknowledge what we can clearly see?
Well, I don't. I used to just look at it, when they used to say it, and like, it's just you're just misremembering or whatever it is. And I used to kind of take it a little bit, like, just a little bit to heart. And now it's, like Bertot said earlier, since we see different Mandela effects at different times, and they're not seeing it. I always refer when I talk about it on my channel, I always refer back to the Matrix. You can you can wake anybody up, but at a certain age or a certain point, it's hard to wake people up to something else. And I think that's where it really draws a line if you want to show them or push it even more if they want to accept it. But they're going to accept it if they want to or not. And I think most of the time they do accept it and they don't want to show it and they go home and they're going to get something on their feed because everything listens to us and they're going to jump down
Yeah.
that hole. I think that's definitely one of them. I think no matter what, even if they say, "Oh, bro, you're misremembering," or "You're not," no way that ever happened. They're gonna go home and something's gonna pop up on their feed. They're gonna go check it out. They're gonna go to their significant other or their roommate, their friend. They're gonna be like, this crazy guy came up to me today and he asked me, he asked me about the Kit Kat. Do it have a hyphen or not? And he said it has a hyphen. And I was like, oh, it always, I was like, it had a hyphen. It doesn't have a hyphen. She go back home and do the kind of stuff and throws him down that rabbit hole. And maybe that person might get a different answer from whoever they asked it from. And I think that's where, in a sense, it doesn't bother anymore because you're going to jump down that hole regardless if you want to tonight because everything listens to us. You're going to see it on your feed. And I think that's the cool thing. Used to hate it, but now I'm like, you can call us what you want to, but everything's coming out true now these days. Even conspiracies are being true. So.
That is so true.
But with that, for anybody who does deny it now these days, it's kind of like why when you first look it up, you first look up the Mandela effect, the first thing you get is misremembering. That's what you get.
Yes, you
It's
do.
basically misremembered. It's a phrase of misremembering something the way it was, it was never was. And that's the key. That's what they get there, but that's what sucks.
Just like
But
misinformation.
yeah. And
Oh,
it's like Google. You Google something, you got 1,500 million pages to check all this stuff you need, but it's only really 10, you know?
mm-hmm.
And they show you what they need to show, and that's what the Mandela effect. They does that. They throw them down that hole, and it's like, oh, it's all memory. But something's gonna click. Something's gonna click in their head one day, no matter what it is, and it's gonna be like, oh man, that's not right. And it could be Folgers in a cup, them going to the club, or it might be Mrs. Buttersworth one day. It might change. I don't know. If it changes, I don't know, but who knows?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is the last question for the Q&A, everyone. So last chance to get your questions in. Do you believe people in this reality are more hostile, angry, rude, or even more evil than they were prior to the Mandela effect?
Yeah. I mean, I think this day and age, it is definitely not the world we grew up in or I grew up in. It definitely has changed. Um, I can't put it all, maybe, we can't blame the Mandela effect on it, or maybe we can with CERN and dimension wise. Um, but it is definitely a lot more sad than it was growing up. And, you know, I think it does have a lot with the misinformation that we all get these days. And I think a lot of it is now that a lot of people are fed up and we're all waking up in different ways. And I think that's, the ones are waking up, we're seeing how bad it is, but yet I think maybe that's also the system. That's all we see is bad. And
Mm-hmm.
that is the distraction, I guess, from what it all is. And that's what makes it is, fear makes people do stupid things. And right now, the world is just not out in fear. So I mean, it's they don't know what to do. They're being stupid, but it is. I do think that it is a lot worse, and it's just definitely not one thing, and it could be a whole bunch of things, but it is definitely a lot different than growing up playing in the street lights, or drinking out the water hoses and stuff like that. For me, it is different. sad because I want my child to have the fun we had as kids. And
Oh,
it's
same.
almost like it's almost like you almost have to put a tracker on them or give them a phone as a kid so you know they're safe. It shouldn't be that way.
No, it shouldn't. Absolutely not. I agree with you.
But I also think that a lot of us are coming together, but it's not enough. I think I'm old school, I guess. It might take two people to have a family, but it takes a village to raise kids and a village to raise a family. And I think that's what it has to do with this world. We all a community, we all get together, we all help each other. Frequency goes up, all the bad stuff will go. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
My positive thinking.
Yes, positive thinking is good. And that's why we do these interviews, to bring our community is so segregated. Like, I'll go to another channel and there's all these people that I've never heard of in the chat and in the comments. And I'm like, there's not many of us that are affected. We should all pull together. And that's part of the goal of this, is to make our community a little bit closer together and less separated.
Well,
And
I
I'm
do agree
hoping
with
it works.
I do agree with that. I do think that if we can get the whole, especially, I'm honored to be here. I get to talk to you, show my mind, and not many people get this chance to get in my head like this. But I do think if we all can get together and just put our heads together and just powwow something out, we could probably figure out some good stuff to do with it, and go beyond, in a sense of not just discussing it and showing people what it is, but really maybe come up with the answer of it all.
That would be nice. That would be
But
nice.
we all have an opinion on it. We all have our thoughts, and you put us all in a room on a chalkboard, dotting things together, and it might make sense. Greatest minds all got to work together. Sometimes you put them all in a room. That's how Spider-Man was made, but
Mm-hmm.
but I think I think that's the coolest thing. I love what y'all are doing. I think, for me, I always want, I do believe y'all are awesome. Y'all do wonderful work over here. And I'm just happy to be right here with y'all today. This is cool to me. I feel like I'm on Tonight Show. So
Well, we're happy you're here too. That's awesome.
Technically,
I
it is
am.
the night show.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
tonight's show. Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Well,
Sandy. Sandy.
yeah. Yes, Teresa.
I don't know if you told Lee about my Facebook group, what I have. I don't know if he's aware of it. I don't know if he does Facebook. You want to tell him about my group and how many people I got in there?
Well, you tell him. It's your group.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. You're a better speaker.
Okay. So I'm going to tell everyone. I will, when I get back to the chat, when I hand this off to Esther, I will put a link. But Teresa if you're on Facebook, I'm really only in Teresa's group. I don't use Facebook, but I use
Shame on you,
Facebook
Sandy.
in the Mandela Effect groups. That's the only place I'm on Facebook, is the Mandela Effect groups. But Teresa has a private Facebook group called Mandela Reality Residue Hunters. And I will put the link. You have to answer the questions or the admins will not let you in. And if you're not in there, you can't see the group. So that's good. You can share stuff without worrying about your family members seeing it, or friends, things like that. But I think you're 2,500 members. Am I right or wrong?
I think I'm at, let me check real quick here, because I can't even keep track of my own. I have, I'm looking, hold on. Can't keep track of all these.
Well, while she's looking, she has celebrated the 5th anniversary on May the 4th.
Yes, I have, no, Sandy, I actually have more members now. I have 2,600 members.
That's great.
And I just, 5-year anniversary was May the 4th be with you. That's how I remember it. Yep. Yep.
So for anyone who wants to join, I'm going to put in both Brian's chat and my chat. I'm going to put a link to your group, but again, you have to answer the
Yes, very important.
questions and agree to the rules. Otherwise, the admins will just.
Yeah, and we
I think it auto declines now, doesn't it?
I think so. Yeah, and I don't let any bullying in my group. I don't let anybody bully anybody. They get a warning, and if they keep it up, they get bye-bye.
I'm not a bully.
Yeah, we do like to
I'm not
message
a
you if
bully.
there was something wrong.
Yeah, but I love
we
my
tried
group.
to-
I love all my members. It's a great group, Lee. It's a great group, and yeah, I was very proud of myself. I get so many different people from all over the world. I get to meet people, and you know what? This Mandela Effect. If it wasn't for the Mandela Effect, I would have never met everybody that I've met. You know, Sandy and Esther and Jeff and Brian and everybody. It's just been an amazing experience, and I to this day I can't believe the things I actually see things change in real life, which freaks me out. I'm one of those that I'm like, no, I watch things change, like words merge. It just freaks me out. I don't know why I have to see words merging. Right, Sandy?
It's your site.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, another thing, Sandy, I don't know if Lee agrees with this or not. They said that 80% of the Mandela Effect people are empaths. That means we have special
see.
gifts.
Yeah, hey, I'm one of them. I'm definitely.
See?
I'm all the paths.
Why is it the
I am.
empath people with empaths can see these things better? You think we're more open to it? Our mind?
I do think at a point we do open up our mind to what our reality was and what it is. I do think that it's the power we have. You know, I'm one of those. You know, I'm a spiritual, so it's a power that we have, and I can always say, possibly, you know, we were generations that were star-seeded into this planet to where awareness, wake up people, and raise the vibration, and that's the reason why all of y'all are probably, you know, you've seen the Mandela effect affect you
Yeah,
so much.
we have I think we all have a lot in common. I think the Mandela Effect people have a lot in common. I don't know if that was one of the questions, Sandy, that do you think the Mandela Effect people have a lot of things in common that makes us see the effects? Is that a good question to add?
That is. It's. That's why I was asking specific things about like
Oh,
body changes and changes in behavior, because that's one of the things that were like the top answers when I did the poll in your group, asking people what we had in common. So
I'm not the same person. I know one thing goes, Sandy, is ever since I woke up to this effect, I don't feel like I'm the same person no more. My whole personality is not the same. And I even noticed it in myself. I'm like, why am I more serious? I used to be more lighthearted and more free spirit. And now I feel like I'm more serious and I take things more seriously and I get my feelings hurt. Back then, before the Mandela Effect, I would just brush it off. Now I just cry. And I know it's changed me. I'm not the same person and I recognize it. You know, I'm not me. I know I'm not. I just feel it in my soul. You know, does that make sense?
yeah.
I've changed so much, and you guys have seen me change too. I'm
Yes,
just
we
like,
have.
where's sweet Teresa at? She's gone. I feel like everything's so much harder. Like I feel like everything's harder on me now with the Mandela Effect. I don't feel like my puppy dog person I was. I'm more like a pit bull now.
I felt that way at first too. I was the same way when I was going through it for a couple of years. It was just like I don't know, I felt drained. It was like it was draining me. But in the last month, I flipped it over for some reason. I was like, it's cool. I want to do something else with it. You know, I know what it is. I
Yeah.
want to do something else with it now, and that's where I'm at. It doesn't, you know, and that's kind of where it doesn't, you know, people who disown it or don't, you know, say what it's just mismemories. I don't even bother me anymore. It's like,
I know. I used to try, you know what, Lee? I used to try to wake people up years ago to this. And a lot of people would just brush it off like, oh, you know, you're just remembering it. No, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. So I've given up trying to wake people up. I figured they're going to see it on their own time when they're ready. And it happens. Some people are now waking up to this effect. No, you can't
everything
force it.
watches us now. And you can't
Yeah,
force, you can't force anybody to wake up to something.
no, you can't. What year did you
Yeah.
wake up? I forgot. I didn't know if she asked you. I'm December 2016.
Well, I saw mine was 18 with the Mandela Effect.
Oh,
That
wow.
part. Yeah, that was probably the year. Let's see, I've been doing my shaman tree about 7 years now, so probably about a year and a half into my shaman tree, finding myself on the Mandela Effect. So and that
Was it
and so
shocking to you? Was it shocking to you when you
oh,
found out about the Mandela effect?
that it was kind of like it was a point where I was going down on everyone that I saw. It was like, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. So
Yeah.
I had to go
Were you
find somebody. I
Did
had
you
to
ever have the
find
freak
somebody.
out moments, like freaking out, like you literally thought you were losing your mind?
Oh yeah, like
Me too. God.
like freaking scarecrow with the gun. It still
Yeah.
blows my mind. Like, how did we all miss that if it was there the whole time? It blows me away. And now they all
I
have
don't even
weapons.
have a
Crazy.
gun. You never had a gun.
No, we would have noticed that as a kid. We would have noticed he had a
Yeah.
picture, and it's just like, no way. And I think it still gets me to this day. I'm like, no. But
I know, and me being 59 years old, I'm 59 and 60 November. I've seen Wizard of Oz so many times I can't count, and I'm like, there's never been a gun. Where did that gun come from?
Fly my pretties, and I'm like, no more fly my pretties.
No.
Yeah,
No.
That was one of the
and now
that I got to watch in real time. His pants change. That was weird.
Oh, his pants
Ooh.
changed?
Yeah, the Scarecrow. I got to watch it in real time. Like every time they showed him again, like a new patch would show up on his leg, and I'm like, "Whoa, this is weird."
No.
It's like as I'm watching it, like more and more patches showed up on his legs, and I'm like, and then I rewound the
Whoa.
movie, and it was there all of a sudden, and I'm like, it's always been there, even though when it started there was like, I think there was one patch, and then by the end of it there's like 3 or 4 now, and I'm like, that's just
No
weird.
way.
Like Titanic, when I was watching that, his shirt changed as I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh my God.
Ask Lee what color he remembers that shirt being. That was the one that he had on, right?
Shirt,
Leonardo?
He was
right
on the Titanic.
was
He had the white
when he
shirt
was
at the end.
doing I'm Alive.
That was at the
What
very
did-
end, right before he tries to like get Rose out of the or no,
Oh.
he saves him from the jail cell. And I thought it was just his shirt was getting wet, but it was all white, or was it white with like a big patch in the middle of it, like a light gray color, almost tan?
I thought it looked like one of those long john shirts, and kind of like a white with a white kind of white shirt with a. I don't know if it had a.
Yeah, if you look at it now, it's in the center. There's like a middle part now, and it's like discolored.
It looks like a
It's
bib.
like a grayish,
big bib
color.
patch.
Yeah, it looks like a bib.
That's so weird. Yeah, I remember it being white. It was kind of reminded me like those old, like what they would wear underneath their shirts in the old days.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he would wear, and that's kind of what it reminded me of. It's what I'm thinking of. That's what
Yeah, if
like
you
that
see it, like I
long
said,
john
it's two-toned, and I'm like, I was watching it first, I thought it was just the water that had gotten on it, and no, if you go all the way back to as soon as you look at them.
You should look at it now, Lee. See what it looks like.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
Even when it's dry, it was that color. It was like, no, that's not what happened. I'm like, I'm watching it real time change, and it was just weird. Yeah,
oh my
covered
God.
That one.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Weird.
Yeah,
it just looks weird. I don't like it. I don't like it. That's stupid. That's what gets me now. It's like stupid Mandela effects. It's like this was those little things. Like Gallagher with no freaking suspenders.
Hey, Sandy. Sandy.
Yes.
Ask him about my painting from Picasso. Remember how we both remember it 2 different names? Ask him about the starry thingy. Remember? Ask him when he remembers. Famous painting, Lee. What do you what do you remember the name of the painting?
The Scary Night one? With the castle in it? Star Scare
No, the
Night,
one
whatever it is?
Starry Night. What do you remember? The Story Night or Starry Night? The
Story
name of the
Night.
painting.
Or a
See, he
Starry
remembers
Night.
it like me, Sandy. Tell him what it is now.
Story Night.
I do
Story
too,
Night.
Teresa.
Tell him what it is now.
I have to go look. Is it A or the?
It changed, Lee.
The
It's
I
either
found.
the or
I
A.
think I found
Yeah.
that.
it's the
Yeah.
Van Gogh.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now it's
So-
no. I think it's the. Is it that Starry Night now, Sandy?
Yes.
it's
And
the Starry
Philo
Night.
remembers Starry Night. Someone else besides Philo remembered that too, but I forget who it was.
Isn't that crazy? I think I'm the
Now-
one that found that.
And
Is-
Van
now,
Gogh, not
isn't that the one
Picasso.
that's supposed to have
Bingo. I'm
Apple in
sorry.
it now?
Bingo.
From Noise Guru.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Bingo. Sorry about that. I don't know
When
why
you're
I'm calling
saying
it Picasso. I get those two guys mixed up.
Van Gogh.
Sorry.
I
But
say
it also
Van
that
Gogh.
one
Bingo.
also had the castle in it, but now it's a tree. It never
Hey,
was
Teresa.
a castle.
Yeah.
Hey, I believe the word is bazinga.
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 Or is that a Big Bang Theory quote?
Big Bang.
That's Big Bang. I
It
was watching
is.
that earlier.
But that
Fine.
one's a huge one for me. That one.
You're just in time because Esther's about to start the Q&A.
Okay. Nice talking to you, Lee. I'm gonna let you
Thank you, Grace.
let Esther take over. Thank you for talking to me a little bit. All right.
Well,
I'll mute
All right,
myself.
if you guys
Esther.
in the background, my kids are deciding they're both gonna come out here and start talking now. So those are my kids in the background. Ben, I can't go on mute, so you're gonna have to not talk, please. No Xbox out here.
No, I'm just taking the battery.
Sorry.
I'm
right.
just taking it back with me.
They've been good this whole time, and now, but always happens. All right, I'm going to ask. I was going to start off with this one, but I will start with the first one that I wrote down, so that way I don't get confused. From Hi Orion Spur was, which ME gets you the most?
All of them could get me really, really bad. Luke, I am your father. I think is still the one that gets dear in my heart. It is definitely one. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
Luke, I am your father, and all day long. It's just
Yeah, that
Earl
one.
Jones voice in my head. I hear it. It just resonates. It's just always has, and that's what everybody does. It doesn't matter, even if you've never seen that movie, you know that line. And I think that's just so rememberable. I think that's going to be really top Mandela film of all time for sure.
Oh, yeah, we always said all the time as when we were kids. So the other one that keeps getting asked by, I think it was at least 3 different people, was asking if you're flat Earth or globe. And I don't know how much we want to go into that on Brian's channel because
No, it's all right. I'm always, I kind of answered it earlier. I do think that it's how you perceive it. It's not round, it's not flat. And we do live in a dome, but how you perceive it, think about it, is your brain is the main computer of it all. So is your brain flat? Is it round? Do you see round? Do you see, it all depends how it is. Nobody knows the truth unless you've been there. But, I'm one of those. Every religion or every aspect of spirituality, religion, all have depictions of something over us, and being flat. Story. it's hard to just go behind that, and they tell you every day in front of people's face. Walt Disney was having the Disney World, the dome on top of it. He's telling you the world is a dome. Van Patten was the rocket guy was his best friend. That's the only thing that says on his grave is that you can see God's handiwork within the firmament. And that's all I needed. That's all I really need to say on that one. There you go.
Oh. Yeah, like you said, so many people were asking over and over and over again. And I'm like, I know you answered it earlier, but they had also joined later. So
that's all right.
Like, well, I might just want to ask it again.
Either way you think about it. Right.
Yeah.
But we're not, if you want to put it,
Parody,
we're not the only planet here. So we're not the only ones there. So.
Yeah. Parody Bear asks, do you know about Sagittarius and I guess it was Sagittarius arm Earth, or the Orion spur Earth? I'm not exactly
Oh, the
sure.
Orion belt thing. If we what belt we were
Yeah.
on, if we were on Orion's belt, and now we're
Yeah.
pointed on. I've heard of that one. Yeah, I have heard of that. I mean, I guess I mean, I just don't know. I think it's weird because I was always thought we was on the Orion's belt. You know, even
Yeah.
wasn't that the cat's name in Men in Black? The cat that had Orion's belt was around his neck, and
Yeah.
it's kind of what it. We that's how I think of that one. And if we've moved in a constellation that's we're just on a different frequency. If that's the case, but I've heard of that one. I think it is definitely odd. But like I said, I've always been taught Orion's belt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that does fit into the whole, like, if multiple dimensions or whatever, like, if we got switched, then we would be in a different spot and
In a
things like
different
that. So
spot. Yeah.
I,
So it could, who knows? But if we have moved, and that's proof that we've moved, that's just proof that we are in a different timeline or a different spot of dimensions.
one of these days we'll have the answers finally. So Artsy 909, she asked 2 questions actually. Why do you think that the most Mandela affected people are spread out and so far away from each other? Like,
I think the reason why for that is because if we were all together, we couldn't wake up as as many people as we can far away from together. I think that's one thing that, I'm a big believer in the source of the main creator, always has a mission. Like somebody heard me say Starseed earlier. We're all sent here for a mission, certain things to raise frequencies, and that's how they've got to be suffering to do it differently. Everybody has their own thing to do their own crowd to wake up people. That's why I really think that's probably why it's all spread out. Another reason why it's probably spread out is because we don't all see it all the same too. And I think a lot of us see everything the same, but maybe we don't see it all at the same time. I guess is the best way to put it that way too as well.
I feel like it's kind of like if we were all together, then we'd all just like huddle together and stay together, but we're all spread apart. So now we all have to kind of like find each other and kind of like how we're here on YouTube and we all live in different states. So none of us live close to each other, but we're all spreading it from our little state and we're all trying to find people, but we're not
Miles away, miles away. And that's with technology we have
I
these
don't.
days, it's a big thing.
Yeah, I find that like I try to say somebody will say something and I'll like, hey, it's not always like that. And if they're receptive, then I'll try to say something. And if they don't, then I'm like, I'm gonna leave you be because, as you said before, we really can't force. Like my family thought I was crazy. They wanted to get me checked into a drug thing, and I'm like, I don't take drugs. So and that was interesting. It was mostly I was freaking out about because a Bible verse I'd written down, and I'm like a word change, and they're like, no, and I'm like, come on, like, and they just would not hear it. They're like, you just wrote it down wrong. I'm like, no, I didn't. So that was fun to get called crazy by your
Crazy you
family.
said that the Bible thing, and that's not I have one of my aunts. She's one of those Christian, religiously Christian, and
Yeah.
I brought up the wolf and the lion and the lamb and the wolf. I asked her that verse, and she
Yeah.
was like, "No, it's lion and the lamb." I was like, "You're wrong." Like, no way. She's like, and for me, as like people like know me, it's like I like, what have you been smoking? I was like, I'm not been smoking anything. But they looked at me like I was crazy. Like, you've lost your mind.
Yeah.
You're telling me
Yeah.
I've been
All my
in
family is like, are
church
you
for
high?
years.
Do we need to get you in rehab? I'm like, no, I don't take drugs.
I was like, I think it's funny. I think it's those, especially with the Bible, and when you do get to Christians and stuff like that, who say they're so adept and they know it and all, and it flips them. I think it sends them crazy because they don't know what to think. It's like, oh, they've been lied to. They don't know why it's changed. I think that scares them a little bit more. The Bible scares people. It just does for some reason. No matter if you talk about good or bad about it, it just scares people either way.
Just thinking about just the Mandela effect, just in general, it's like it is hard to wrap your head around it, and it is hard to explain and understand. It's like other limited capabilities of being able to understand stuff. It's like at this point, I'm just trying to do the best I can and try not to think too hard on what's causing it or how could it possibly. I'm like, you're gonna put yourself in a big mess if you're gonna try to figure it all out. So I have another question here that just popped up on the feed. I'll go ahead and ask that before I get on to the other ones, especially since I want a little clarification from Dead GPK. Question: are there spaces you avoid after Mandela Effect? So I don't know if not exact.
Spaces that I avoid. No, I think now, I'm more excited to go to different places just because of it. I think that's one of those. It's a nostalgia moment. What's going to be, will it happen, change in front of me? Will something be different? Will, I was excited. Who will I meet too as well? Because who can I interact or yeah, I think it's cool. And also no, nothing really scares me away. Not no more. I just love it now. Now it's just nice to kind of see the engine work. And then if I want to ruffle some feathers, I like throwing the computer system a little mix with the, the Mandela effect. Somebody sees something in a conversation that way. I think it's pretty cool. It just makes me see it. Makes me more interactive now, I should say, which is different.
Yeah. So, and I go ahead and finish. Artsy 909, the second question she had. Do you see certain numbers repeated?
Yes, all day long. Angel numbers, if you want to call them, yeah, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been, I would say I think I started seeing them when the Mandela effect happened. When it started for me, but I also, I see them a lot more now, just because of what I do. But yeah, all the time, and it doesn't scare. I guess it used to scare me because I didn't know what it meant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know what they meant or what those were. And I think now it's pretty cool to see it. It's nice to see that the universe or the system or the matrix, they're talking to me. It's just showing me the way. It's the way to look at it.
Yeah. It's funny how Artsy had two questions because a 909 is actually one of the numbers that I see constantly being repeated. Usually I see it at 9:09 a.m. and 9:09 p.m. And it's fine. I'm a huge Beatles fan. So when I won after the 909, and I'm like, every time I see 909, I think of that song. So I'm like, I don't know why that song specifically, like that number shows up like almost every day when I work at my job. I look up, or even at home or my watch. I'm like, it's almost every day. I see it at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. And it's like, why?
Twice a day.
I don't know how. 1001, but definitely 909 is like the number that gets repeated the most often. And I'm just like, is that supposed to mean something? I'm still trying to figure it out. So, and the last question
it could be anything.
Know of,
yes, for sure.
Yeah. And it's like, am I one after the 909? Did I miss something? I need to wait a little bit longer for something. I don't know.
So how long am I going to live?
I'm at the wrong station. So I'm like, maybe I went to the wrong station and I need to figure out my life here. I don't know. And the last question that I have written down is from Shelby Norwood. Do you remember all the 6 moon landings or just the one?
Wow. The crazy thing is, thinking about the moon landing, I could only think about Apollo, what, it was 11? Or the one that went to whatever it was, Neil Armstrong and that? That's the only thing I can really think of. Yeah. That's all I can, only thing I remember, only one I can remember. Apollo 13 never made that. We all watched that movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but no, I don't remember them dropping the bell on, dropping the thing on the moon and hearing the moon ring like a bell for an hour or two,
What?
But I went,
wait. What was that? I don't know what you're talking about.
When they dropped
There's a bell on the moon?
when they dropped they released, I don't know what it was. They had something they were in the ring. I guess they wanted to drop on the moon to see if it would follow or not or whatever. Well, they dropped, I guess, something heavy, and it hit the moon and it vibrated for like an hour or two.
Oh my
You look at,
gosh,
I
I've
think,
never heard that one.
yeah. And then I guess they went back and they did it again, and it did the same thing.
Hmm.
It's weird. Yeah, they brought
That is
something back
weird.
bigger to drop on it. Yeah. But that's just all I've heard about. It's not like I mean, but the only thing I remember would be is the original moon
Mhm.
landing that they had on television when they had a camera up there showing everything. Which makes no sense.
I agree.
Yeah,
Um, there is one more question. I don't understand it, so I don't know if it's real or not, but it's written real, so I'm going to read it to you.
it's written real. Hey,
Yeah,
Super
well,
Mario.
so it's from John Nada, and he says, "What shape is the machine elf realm?"
Ah, what shape is the machine built round? Depends where you go, buddy. I mean, I've seen it many times. It all depends where you go, man. It's to me, I see gears. I don't know what it's a shape. I see it look like a gear to me. It looks like a gear and a clock tower to me. That's just it. But I understood that question.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
understood it.
huh?
It's like if anybody really wants to know what the machine elves are, y'all just watch Willy Wonka. The Oompa Loompas are the machine elves. It shows you all
Oh,
the
okay.
DMT world you need to love. It's basically what it is. There you go. That was easy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna need Brian
Yeah.
for
Sorry if
this,
I missed
but
any of the questions. No. I tried getting all of the questions that I could find that were like, some of them I wasn't sure if they were going to you crazy or if it was somebody else. So it's hard when they don't put the question the way that. But I did try to get the ones that look like they were supposed to be for you.
the final
And it's hard
question,
because I also
I'm
Yep.
trying to get Brian because we need Brian right now. Is basically,
hope
Lee,
he
do you
didn't
have
fall asleep.
anything you want to discuss or share with us that we have not asked you? Lee?
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking. I know. I'm sitting here thinking. I was like, this anything. I was like,
You didn't
I've
hear me.
come. I was like, questions were awesome. I love the questions. I'm not actually got doesn't have time, so thank you, Sandy, for that. But no, I guess if anything, I want to put any more simpleness on the Mandela effects is that you know I know everybody out there, we see them, we look at it, and we might not quite know exactly where it comes from, and I know it might rattle our brains, and it does things to us physically, emotionally, even all around our friends and stuff like that, and it's just part your awakenings, it's part of your life. It's just when you see things different than other people, you now see things on a whole different new level in a new light. And I want to remind people out there that don't let that discourage you from going, any deeper down the hole, but don't let it discourage you from talking about these kind of things with people, with regards if it is the Mandela effect or anything, don't be frightened of what they're going to say, because I think that's a lot of things that happens with this community too, is that we say things, we give our own opinions and our own minds out, all of us do, and sometimes it's not reciprocated the way it's supposed to be, and it could come back, and people come back at us different, like we've lost our mind, and it can be really, really hard for people to keep doing what they're doing and just never give up on it. I think that's one thing for people, regardless if you do it here on YouTube or you're in the comments in the chat, or if you're just waking up through this kind of thing, and you just don't let it scare you, don't let it ruin you, and don't let it persuade you to do other things and run away from it. Just keep on going. Believe me, it gets better. That's pretty much what I have to say. So, I think everybody, we do get scared. It does scare the bejesus out of us. And, it does put us in a place where we feel alienated, and it does, that's where these communities are here for. I know each and every one of you, you know, are here for everybody in the chat, or everybody comes on your channel for any question they have or their thoughts about it. And for me, I'm the same way. How you feel about the Mandela effect or how you're treated, inside and outside the world. We're all here to help each other, and I think that's a cool thing. So I appreciate being here with y'all. I think y'all are amazing. This, like I said, I feel like I'm on Jay Leno's show. I'm on the biggest Tonight show in the world, and I'm just involved, and I appreciate the opportunity myself, just because I didn't know where I wanted to go with this, and this gives me that fire, little, of what I need to do with going forward on the Mandela effect. So I thank you, actually. I thank all of y'all. So thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, we were so happy to have you here tonight. But is there any Mandela effects you want to share? Anything
I
you want to talk about?
I
'Cause I don't
thought
know
there
where
was
Brian
going to
is.
be. I thought there was. You know, I Sandy's. I gotta thank Sandy for her little show about the praying hands one. I really do think the prayer hands one is a little bit crazy for me. The prayer hands now are emoji now being high fives too. I
What?
think that's so.
Wait, the praying
What?
hands are high fives?
You know this, Teresa.
Everyone.
You commented on my short.
Oh no, I've been sending prayers to people and now I'm high fiving
You've been high
people. That's
fiving.
not.
It's
Oh yeah,
let me be clear.
Oh no.
It can be
it
praying,
can be.
but it was originally intended to be a high five.
Oh, I feel so bad now.
Or in if you're Chinese, it can mean thank you.
Yes,
It's
thank you.
weird.
You're right.
Wow.
That I thought that one was really weird. I think
That's
that's one
crazy,
weird.
Sandy.
Yeah.
Sandy, I'm going to post that one in my group and give you credit for that one, okay?
Okay, Teresa. You can share the
Oh.
short if you'd like. There's a
I'll
short
share
on
the-
it.
Oh, okay. I'll do that then. That one's
There you go.
crazy. I always thought it was praying.
Not myself.
I'm working on the Back to the Future. I'm working on a short of the Back to the Future change I just covered.
Which one? Is that one that I found?
No, it's the one where well, actually, you didn't see it, Lee?
The Gorgoroths?
No, with Marty, Lorraine, and Biff in the car.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Oh, that one. Oh, go ahead. Tell them that one.
Well, I'll ask.
Get your damn hands off her.
Well, that's the scene.
Yeah.
But my question is, when Marty and Lorraine were in the car, were they surprised when Biff pulled Marty out of the car, or did they know Biff was coming?
No, he was surprised.
And I know some of your listeners did not see our show. If they want to tell me in the chat what they remember, was he surprised or did they know he was coming?
I'm looking at, she lit a cigarette. You smoke? Oh, he had a drink. Oh, that's liquor. Which, fun fact, that was actually real liquor in that flask that he drank.
Yeah, that was funny.
And then he kisses him. It's like, oh, you remind me of my brother. Is that weird? No. And as soon as that, he got pulled out.
There you go. That is my memory, 100%.
What? It changed?
That's not what
I
happens
just watched
now.
this movie. I literally just watched this movie.
Listen.
Yeah.
Now Lorraine says the brother thing, and
oh no, somebody's coming.
Else. Yeah, somebody's coming, and looks over her shoulder, and they knew Biff was coming, and he like sighs and rolls his eyes as Biff pulls him out of the car.
No,
so they knew he was coming.
I did remember her saying somebody's coming, but nobody looked back. Oh no, somebody's coming because she was trying to
the back seat.
Oh no, that never happened.
And I don't remember somebody's coming at all.
And see, maybe that's because I just watched it, but in my mind, she was like, "You kissed, you remind me of my brother," and I think they heard footsteps, I just watched it, so that's the scene in my head too. But nah, it went. Because I remember she was trying to cover herself back up. Then he got pulled.
And
I'm gonna have to watch that
also,
again.
it was more violent. Him getting pulled out of the car was like this quick motion, and now it's like almost
Pulled out,
gentle.
yeah. They
It's almost a
punched in the
gentle
stomach.
pull out of the car. And it's got
Well,
this very dramatic music, and I don't remember. The whole scene has changed for me.
even the part where his dad punches Biff. He used to be in the face, and now it's in his gut, or it's in his side. It never hits him in his face anymore. I think it's something like that. He doesn't even touch his face. It looks like now. It's weird. I don't remember. Something's right. There's two things wrong with that scene. I gotta rewatch that again now. Goodness gracious, got my mind blown up now.
Yeah, it literally just changed for me. Like I just saw the change last week, well, a week and a half ago now. But
Yeah.
because that whole scene has changed for me now. They were completely surprised to see him. Well, it was surprised. There was no preparing for him to grab him out of the car.
No, there was no preparing. He got snatched. He got pulled out the car. So I do remember that. He got pulled out the car.
Sandy,
Yes.
ask him about the scene when he's on stage, and you know how when the guy goes to the car and he hurts his hand. Ask him if he remembers a little bit of blood on his hand or a lot of blood. You remember
When he calls his brother, his cousin.
yeah, ask him about that one.
Marvin Barry.
Marvin.
Remember he says that.
Marvin Barry. His hand, but it had. Yeah, I've saw that scene. His hand wasn't that bloody before.
Now go look at it.
Now it's fully covered.
Yes.
It's fully covered now. Yeah, I remember I saw that part, and I was like, "That's so covered up. It's so."
Yeah, it was only a little bit of blood, not like somebody stabbed him in the hand, you know.
Yeah.
And in my past, there was no blood at all.
I just remember I just remember it was like the white bandage. All you could see was a white bandage, and it was like where you had to tie it up.
Yeah.
Where the knot was is like the only part of the where was blood on it.
Yes.
Really noticeable. And the only time when he pulled up the phone to when he was playing.
Yep. And now the bandage has a lot of blood. Pretty soon, the next one it'll be dripping from his hand.
He might not have it no more. He might lose his hand.
Yeah.
That'll be next. No hand.
I just remember it. I was always like, his hand isn't that like damaged. Why couldn't he have played guitar? Because it seemed like he was just bandaged up, and it was just like it was an excuse to make him where he wasn't playing guitar. It just didn't seem to fit. Like his hand didn't look like it was that bad because it wasn't all bloody like it is now.
No, not even in the scene when he's singing Earth Angel. When he's singing Earth Angel, it was bloody too. It was fully bloody. It was so weird. Now think about the movie. It was never that bloody. I remember he was singing Earth Angel. It's so weird. I don't like it. But that is one of those movies, time travel, CERN, whatever. It's one of those.
Quite a few things have changed in that movie. Like lots of things have changed in that. Not just the first one, but the second and the third.
The second one's a little weird too. I want to rewatch the second one again because it doesn't seem right to me neither no more, and I can't way it was weird. Michael's weird.
I was gonna watch it.
It's just like
I'm gonna have to watch it.
I remember Jaws actually having that bite. I remember because they were doing Jaws, whatever number it was.
Oh my God!
It still had the bite in the Jaws thing.
You remember the noise? It goes. Remember the noise?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember it? Yeah, the noise is gone now. The crunch noise. I remember the crunch, crunch, crunch. And I saw that movie when it first came out. I remember sitting in the movie theater, and I was scared to go to the beach after that, like in the water. But I remember the crunch noise when you see the bite comes out. I think it's like 2 bites, and you hear crunch, crunch in the very beginning. Now it's all gone. Oh my God, I can't believe you remember that too. I thought I was alone on that. Right, Sandy? You remember that when I was freaking out about the crunch noises? Yeah. Or like 2 of them, I think, the beginning and the end. It was like, yep. Gave my age away.
Yes.
So,
That's
Lee,
true.
you just put a new video out. What Mandela effects did you talk about in your video?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I did talk about shout out to all y'all. I did all that too. I did talk about I talked about the praying hands, which I thought was just it was so weird. You know, even I got that on my TikTok feed too. But I saw that on Sandy's, and I was just it was so weird. It's just so on man. Line. Talked about the gargoyles and Back to the Future, where Doc is they're about to say, you know, send Marty back, and he has to go across, and now they're lions or panthers, they're not gargoyles anymore.
Yep, we covered that, and they're facing in a different direction. Brian,
Direction, yeah,
Yeah.
facing weird now, and it's the whole body. I noticed it was all actually 2 nights ago, and I saw that part. Actually, when I was doing that thing, I was noticing that you can almost see the whole body of that whole statue when he's trying to get around it, which is so weird for that being that tower on top of that clock. It's weird. And then what should
well, wait, tell me the last one. Let's stick on that topic for 1 second. I covered another change in that scene in Back to the Future. For me, the lightning came down from the right and struck the clock tower on the face. And there was a mark on the face of the clock tower. And now, the lightning comes down, swoops around, and then hits from the other direction. It does this whole thing. It's not right. I forget where it strikes now.
It's from the top.
The top.
It hits the top.
It
It's
hits
the
the
top
top,
of the
right.
lightning bolt thing or the tower, the little
Yeah, the lightning
wind dial
doesn't
thing.
come down from the right and hit the clock. Now it starts from the right, swirls around, then comes back down. It does like this weird pattern before striking.
It only looks like it hits the line that he made. That's the only thing it looks like it hits now. I remember it's like it just doesn't even touch the clock tower technically. So the clock should still be moving,
It
technically.
should still be working just fine.
Yeah. Should still be working. It does not strike right anymore. I saw that too the other day. I was like, was it supposed to hit the clock? Came down, hit the clock.
So you were going to say the other Mandela effect. I didn't want you to. It was
You're
relevant,
all right.
so I wanted to keep there. Sorry.
Michael Jackson Thriller cover with zippers on his sweater that was never there, or his hoodie and I don't know if anybody remembers the Thriller cover was the Lion and Michael. It used to be a straight black silk shirt with his jacket. Now it's like a hoodie. Now it's got zippers on it.
Sandy, did I mention that one before?
No, I covered his red jacket having silver zippers and they're gold.
And you know what's weird? The pool table doesn't have holes in it no more. I don't know if that's a big deal. The holes are, I'm like, where's the holes?
And some people told me that's a different kind of. It's a different.
Man excuse. That's Sandy's thing. Man excuse, right, Sandy? You want to explain that to him?
Oh my gosh, you said it correctly, Teresa. Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I forget the name of the game, but it's a different game, and I can't remember. But I don't remember that being there. I remember it being a normal pool table there.
So do I.
Found that. Was it Anthony Rogers?
I think so. He posted it in my group, I believe. I have so many posts every day, Lee. That's why I was trying to get you to join my group so you can see more Mandela effects. New ones too.
That was definitely the pool table one, from the.
And Residue. I'm a Residue hunter, by the way. That's what I've been always tagged at, right, Sandy?
Yes, Teresa.
Yeah, Residue finds me, and I'm like, I wasn't even looking for that. Like that Victoria's Secret. When I was at the flea market last week, I was walking by this booth, and it said Victoria's Secret socks, and I'm like, camera time, because I remember Victoria's Secret, not Victoria's Secret. No, and I found Residue. Yep.
Always Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, and now it's Victoria's. That's a huge one for me. I freaked out in the mall. I'm yelling at the sign, and this lady walking by is looking at me when I first seen it. She's looking at me like, why is this lady yelling at the sign? She's looking at me like I'm crazy. That's supposed to be Victoria, you idiots in there. And she's looking at me like she's crazy.
That's like Lazy Boy. Every time I see Lazy Boy, I get mad because it's not.
Yeah,
Lazy
that's a good
Boy.
one
I can't
too.
remember it.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad. I'm like, it's not Lazy
J.C.
Boy.
Penney. What about J.C. Penney? I don't remember it. Penney. Are you affected by
No.
that one, Lee?
Yeah, I am affected by that one. It's that's weird to me too.
Hey guys, what about the Rubik's Cube? Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's. Oh, tell you about that one.
Yeah, didn't that one have an X and now it's a K apostrophe S?
What was it? X.
What do you remember Rubik's Cube?
This was Rubik's.
It was an X. Yeah, Rubik's
Okay.
Cube. Yeah.
Now it's this. Totally wrong, guys.
No, that's not. No.
You're gonna show him, Brian?
Brian, we can't see.
You got to present yourself.
I sent it to the chat.
It's in the chat. It's in the chat. No, it's with a Q. It's with a Z. No, Rubik's.
It had an X.
Rubik's. It was Russian. It's Russian. It's an X. That's how that's one thing that gets me too. I love how America we screwed that up, but Rubik's Cube is Russian in a sense.
Yeah.
It's an X all day long.
I agree.
They have so many X's in their words in a X. It's like you can't forget that. I mean, it's weird. Yeah, but it's man. I didn't know about that.
It was named the man's-cuse, what Sandy likes to call these things. They're called man's-cuses. I don't know if you heard that term before on our channel, but
yeah, we were talking about it.
It was named after Erno Rubik. I think it was 1979 when it came out. I could be wrong. It's like right on the border of 1980, maybe 81.
Selling
Rubik's Cube
for years. That's weird. Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, but his name was Erno Rubik. I get it, but he called it the Rubik's with an X.
Yeah, that's what I remember too.
Yep. With an X. That was just a weird way to spell something, and that just clicks in our heads at kids, man. It's like, oh. Plus, I could never finish it. I knew it. Like,
you're not alone, Lee. I can never do it. I'm not good at it.
Oh, I don't know how to do it either.
It looks confusing. You got to be pretty smart to do it, I guess.
And then the last one I did.
It takes a lot of practice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice, memorization.
Funny me.
All numbers. A lot of numbers.
Heck, I can't even do a hula hoop. I've been trying to learn how to do a hula hoop for 20, and since I was a kid, never could do a hula hoop.
Teresa, it's funny you mentioned that. How do you spell hula hoop?
Hula, like HULAHOOP?
Yep. In some circles, it's spelled the other way, HOOLA.
No.
Yeah.
How do you remember it spelled, Lee? Hula hoop.
That's one I couldn't tell you.
Oldie.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that one.
Yeah.
We could ask the chat.
It was hula.
I always thought it was hula hoop, just like the hula hoop from the Hawaiian. That's where they got the hula hoops. Yeah.
The
hula. Yep.
Hula. Yeah.
Are yours? I got a question. Your pictures in the background, are those like on those black lights that make them glow?
Yeah. I got the black light thing in there, yeah.
Are those the ones that are like furry, like the kind from Infinite Mushroom? Oh my God, I haven't seen those in years. They glow. Yeah. Remember the neon lights? I used to have those when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's one of these. I love it. I had a few when I was a kid too. And it's kind of like
it brings back memories. It brings back memories. I had one with mushrooms all over it. Not the kind you smoke though, just the mushroom pictures.
Go back around a little bit. That's not the way it is.
They're beautiful. What are some of your pictures? I can't tell.
I got, let's see, my fishies.
Oh, I love fishes.
My fingers is. My smoking monkey is called the Funky Monkey. He's smoking a joint, listening to music. The other one's called the Lost Horizon. And you
Whoa.
can't. There's actually guys. You can't really see it. There's actually guys actually walking up the mountains. It's pretty cool. It's actually,
No
you
way.
look at it, it turns into a face. It's pretty cool.
Whoa.
The one next to it, oh, it's not this
Uh-huh.
one, is a mushroom house, and there's a little guy sitting underneath it playing like a
That is
banjo.
cool.
Then I got that's the universe or the galaxies or whatever kind of universe it is.
Whoa.
It kind of looks like my head. I kind of say like the inside of my head, whole bunch of nothing. Then I got my fairy lady over there.
I like that. I can see her wings glowing, her green,
Yeah,
lime green
and I got
color.
Wonder
Wow,
Woman
you got a
over here.
bunch.
Yeah, and then chin down there. My mushroom guy smoking a mushroom. It's funny you said that. But that's where the pipes coming out of a mushroom. And
Yeah.
then Zodiac chart. And then my
Speaking of
monkey.
mushroom, didn't they have a lot of Mandela effects in Alice in Wonderland? Sandy,
Yes.
didn't they?
There's
Yeah,
a
we're
Like-
mostly mad. We're mostly mad
absolutely.
here.
What do you remember, Lee? We're mostly mad, or what was the other choice?
I think it was we're all mad here.
We're all mad here. Yep.
We're all mad here. I mean, that's really the
Oh,
only
dude.
one.
What about the Matrix? What if
Oh,
I
my
told
Matrix.
you the line? What if I told you's gone from the Matrix?
The crazy thing is, he says it twice. He used to say it twice in that movie. When he first sees Neo, but when he's walking in the thing, yeah, it's not in there more. What if I told you all this isn't real? Yeah,
No.
it destroys me yet. But even when he sees Neo for the first time, and he was like, I know what you mean. What if I told, and I know exactly what you mean. But what if I told you? It's kind of where it's weird. It tears me apart. I don't like it.
That
I
was a
love
good
that
movie. Matrix. That was good.
Documentary, technically. They say it's a documentary, so it never really was a movie. But yeah,
I got a question for you, Lee. Did you ever
Mhm.
watch the Mandela Effect movie? You know, the one that came out a few years
Yeah.
ago? We interviewed the guy who made the movie, right, Brian? The director?
Yes. It's funny. I was
Did
just
you?
showing my son that
No way.
the other day. Yeah. So we interviewed the guy who directed the movie, The
Mhm.
Mandela Effect. That was a long-awaited movie.
Yes.
And it came out when in 2018. Came out in 2018.
It was so good, the movie. I've seen it so many times.
But I remember the wait was so long for it to come out. It was long overdue.
Yeah.
And you remember before that movie came out, they did a special on the X-Files. But it was actually poking fun at the Mandela Effect. I didn't like
Yes.
that. I didn't like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
I did hate that poke. They poked that so bad. But I love the movie. I love the movie. I thought it was pretty good. And if you haven't seen the movie, you could actually watch it free on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, you can watch it free. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah,
Yep.
which is
You can
crazy.
watch it.
I actually paid for it. It's a good movie, and thought I'd add it to my collection, and it's worth watching, guys.
I thought it was perfect. How it started off with George and its tail, and it just went off. I thought it was perfect. How the naysayers, people didn't believe, whole quantum thing. I think it was really on point, and I think maybe it
Yes.
might have was telling the story. It was telling the truth all around it. I really do. And maybe it was the part where they figured it out, and that's how they figured out how to make a simulation. They threw it in, and it did that whole thing, and that's what happened. I
Do
think
you
that's
think we're in a
really happened.
simulation, Lee?
Oh yeah, all day long.
So
Yeah,
who's all these people around me then? I mean, you're here, all these people around me that I'm talking to. I mean,
We are real.
Are we real?
We're
Are you
real.
guys real?
We're real because we make whatever this moment is real. Everything we're doing is real. It's what this is meant, this is planned, this is part, I guess you could say, part of the system. The people we are talking to in the chat, the people you interact, they are real. Not everybody is real. I think it's who we interact with throughout our life and throughout this thing is what makes it real. I don't know how to make it sound any weirder than it does sound. it is what it is. I really do think,
Do
you
you
know, it's
do you think we can
go ahead.
create our own reality? You think we
Yes,
can create our own realities?
yes, I
Like we have
really do. I believe
control?
we do it right. We do it every single day. I do think
Wow.
we can. We do it every single day because we wake up every single day. It has to do something. You know,
Yeah.
when we go to sleep, our system turns off in a sense. Not the rest of the world does, you know, because there's still people awake,
I have,
but it has to
um,
restart when we wake up. And I think that's where a lot of changes happen too. But you know, it's
I hey Lee, I've
Mhm.
noticed ever since I've had the Mandela effect, I don't dream as much now. I used to dream a lot before the Mandela effect. Now I rarely dream. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's and that maybe that's part where it's, you know, I had that too where I didn't dream and I dream crazy now, but it's I do think maybe that's part of where our reality and our dream world does come together, you know, in a sense that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we're not supposed to remember, or maybe we don't, you know, we dream every night, you just don't remember it. And if you do remember it, was something we're supposed to remember. But
Yeah.
you know, 9 times out of 10, but when we fall asleep, we leave our body. We astroplane. We're light anyway, so we leave our body. We go to what we have to do. You know, we all have.
Yeah.
You know, we go speak to our guys. We go playing around. You know, we do what we do. We download whatever we have to download, and we take away whatever it is. But you know, weird, but it is one of those. Yeah, it's a simulation, just because we are doing the same exact thing now. We are trying to build a system of reality, you know, with AI and the metaverse and everything else. So there's no
Mm-hmm.
saying how many times we haven't done this before. And
I
it
agree.
makes sense. It makes sense, you know. But that does not say we don't have control of our life. We can't take control. You know, I do believe we all have control of our lives. And when we wake up, and I do think when we wake up to the Mandela effect or conspiracy theories, that is when we turn on our life system. You know, we're not that NPC no more. And that's a weird way to say that too. You know, or NPCs all day. But until you wake up, is that's when you turn on. You know, that's when you become alive. And I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, where he's an NPC and he wakes up. I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
think I've
a
seen
lot of
that.
us. That's a lot of us. I think that's what when we wake up, we start, you
Love
know,
that
certain
movie.
things wake us up. And that's exactly what's happened. We wake up and that's when we become alive. And that's just kind
Wow.
of what the system's doing. We're in this system. We were all playing, we were all NPCs until we
Like
woke up.
kind of like the Truman Show. Do you remember the Truman
Yeah.
Show where his life was being watched and he didn't even realize it?
Didn't
Remember the
realize
Truman
it
Show?
until he was getting little signs, you know, here and there.
Yes.
Stuff that was messing up,
Wouldn't it
the
be funny if we
radio.
were all the Truman Show?
Yeah. I believe it sometimes. It's
I
funny
just
because
watched that movie.
No
that thing
way.
that came out the ocean, they were saying, you know, we've seen this. They don't know if y'all saw that tube or container that washed out on the ocean the other day.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going back to the Truman Show. Remember when Sirius fell from the sky? The light.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
That's that and the Power Ranger thing. But you know, that definitely could be the Truman Show. Just the same way he woke up, he saw the things and synchronicities, and he's like, "Oh, okay," and he found the way out. And then some people say he found the way out the ice wall. So out the
Wow.
dome.
Yeah. I had to
Hmm.
bring up the Truman Show because it reminds me of wonder if we're going through that, you know.
We are. And I
Feels
think
like
every
it.
civilization does. You know, I think every civilization that has came before us and
Mm-hmm.
will be after us will go through a different part of that kind of awakening.
Yep. Yep.
I'd say
And that was kind of
3D is
interesting when they
over on
asked
Hey
the
the
guys,
question, they're like, "Well, why didn't he ask? How did he not ask and see if he was like that? He knew that he wasn't a TV show." It's like, well, because you accept the world that you're presented with, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And
just like us in
that's
school.
where
You know,
like
we're taught
I don't like free thinkers.
Mhm. You
hey
take us
guys,
away, you turn us.
hey
I
guys,
finally
Ahead.
John
just
Nada,
watched it like 3 or 4 days ago.
What?
John Nada made a comment here about Dark City.
Yes.
That was and someone else says, let's see. Oh yeah, John Nada also says Dark City is the prequel to the Matrix. I could believe that. Dark City was an awesome movie. If you guys had not checked that out, watch it.
Well, they could
I
also
never
go
saw
back to Terminator. You know, the Terminator, the person who wrote the Terminator and the Matrix, the lady who wrote that both, said they're both in the same. It's the same thing. Terminator's just the past. The Matrix is the future. So it's pretty weird. But Dark City, yeah, definitely a good one. Great one.
Yep, I'm posting the stuff here that Sandy is placing in the comments in the live chat. If you aren't subscribed to Sandy's channel and you'd like to subscribe, there it is for you right there in the chat.
And I'm doing yours right now on my channel.
Oh, cool.
For everybody from my squad, appreciate everybody y'all coming in, man. Showing y'all crazy. Y'all should have loved too. So no, they
Yeah,
already
be
did.
sure
Yes,
to show Lee some love, you guys. Drop a sub and a like on Lee's channel if you'd like to hear
Yes.
more from him.
Oh, I've been dropping his channel the whole show.
Yay. We're
Yeah,
going to
they
bring you
dropping
more
my whole
subs,
show.
Lee. We're going to bring you more
Dude, I'm
subs.
bringing y'all's way. I'm bringing, bringing my peoples to y'all.
When are you
And
putting
all-
out another Mandela Effect video? I know you just did one, but how often do you do Mandela Effect videos? I keep an eye out for them, though, when I get.
It's crazy. That was actually my first Mandela video I've done in like a month. And it's just because I've had a lot of stuff going on. And I mean, like I said, I've been trying to revamp my Mandela thing just because, and I feel like we cover so many of them. And,
Tons.
for me, tons, and I don't see them as often as much as I did.
I slowed down,
maybe
too.
Not me.
and maybe that's just where I'm at, I guess. But I guess I'm just trying to revamp a way of presenting the Mandela effect and doing it in a different way. I don't know, but I don't know what my next one is. This is I love talking about it this way too as well. Different people,
Yeah.
I love doing this, and now that I've upgraded my computer ways, I can do it too. So it's kind of that's where I want to lean to it. I know I'm still going to do them when I get the new ones. It's going to happen for sure, but it's now where I just want to go further into it. Let's really dive into what's causing it, what be doing it. Let's
I
get a
wish
little
we knew
different.
what was causing it, Lee. I
Me
really
too.
did.
I really do too. And more. I guess I dive down CERN a little bit more and into AI. I think kind of going down the weird road about it, I think that'd be pretty cool for me. It's different. I want to kind of use AI a little bit too, just because I want to test the system. I think AI will tell me everything we need to know. I don't know why, but I don't know. But it's fun. I love the Mandela effect, but I've I've changed in life in the last 4 months too, and it's been weird. So it's a lot of things
Well,
going on. And
how have you changed your life in the past few months or whatever?
well,
Lee?
since mom passed away,
Sorry to hear that.
it's just,
Oh, I'm so
oh
sorry.
man, hey, I appreciate it. Don't
Sorry
be
about
sorry.
that, Lee.
She went home.
Sorry
She
for
went
you.
home. She's not in pain, and
Oh,
I'm one of those. She went home. She started a new life. That's we celebrate life, and that was different. I've stepped in. I've got a new whole look at life. I never I guess people always tell you, what this is what life is or what it is. You grow up one day, and this a couple months ago, I just realized I now know what life is, and it's kind of getting that. And my spirituality has grown. I've upgraded in my shamanry, and it's this whole new brain I have. It's weird right now, and it's everything's new. I'm a new kid to a, a whole new world, and it's really different, and I've been a little scared about it too. So my wife it ain't been bad, but I'm seeing a new light, and that's kind of where my life is. It's trying to revamp myself, I should say. I'm a new person, not the old Lee I was 4 months ago, I should say. And I wasn't the Lee yesterday, but that's kind of what's gone into life, Plus my child, and there's a lot of things going on, but it's all good. It's all great things. It's just getting myself a new format of doing things. 'Cause I got a lot to say in life, and I know, and you heard me talk about, God not being part of the Mandela effect, where it's AI and stuff like that, and in life, that's kind of where my channel's going more awakened now too, as well. So that's why it's going deep into the Mandela effect in a weird way, I guess. That's why. No question though. Didn't know how to explain how I felt. Still don't. Oh, that's what's
So
really been going on.
Tanya Sue's been dropping some. I don't know if you guys seen that, but Tanya Sue posted here in the live chat. In Needle in a Time Stack, they are aware of the shifts as they happen and forget the old reality in a couple of hours. Wow. That sounds like what's happening now in real life. So where can we Tanya, tell us what platform we can watch that on, because I feel like we always have to Google something. It's Netflix doesn't have everything. They do have a large majority of movies, and then sometimes they spill over onto other networks. Like you got HBO Max, used to be HBO Max, now it's just Max.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, they merged with Cinemax.
Oh,
So
okay. I
HBO
thought that was the
Max.
Mandela effect.
No, they merged with
they changed.
Cinemax, but then they got rid of it. It's always been home box office. Why would you get rid of the HBO from HBO?
I know.
Oh, that's why it's Max now.
They wanted to
it's
make
just
it look
Max.
more pleasing. Especially with Max, everybody knows Max is Cinemax. That's what I think is Cinemax.
Yeah.
That way, and I think that's probably what they did there too. It's just the merge. It was like, well, we need to just do Max.
Hey, Brian.
Even HBO,
yes, Sandy.
HBO was that way.
There's a video clip I want to share. It's just a small. You don't have to use sound. But I'm gonna send you a video clip while everybody's talking. It's something that makes you say, I can't believe people see stuff like this and can't believe the Mandela effect. Like they believe they say the Mandela effect isn't real. It's a video from TikTok, and it was on Education, and it's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I would say someone called this a glitch in the Matrix.
What?
Yeah. So I'm going to send it to you, Brian. I want you to show it before we end the show. But that's all. I just wanted to let you know I was sending it. And you guys can go on talking. I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell them I was sending it over.
And you guys are talking about the Beatles. Oh my word, there's so many Beatles song changes too. That's crazy. And then that movie Yesterday, I feel like that was kind of like a nod to the Mandela effect. That was
there was that movie Yesterday. You remember that one that
yes,
was singing the covers.
What's the actor's name?
The soundtrack.
Patel. Actor's name is Patel.
Hamish.
That was a good movie.
That's a really good movie.
Hamish Patel.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I have one of his songs. I love it.
He wakes up he wakes up in another reality.
Yes.
Right.
Sings all the Beatles songs.
Sang all the Beatles songs. They became famous.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's actually. I feel like a lot of like they know about the Mandela effect. The screenwriters and the people who are writing these movies nowadays, they know about it. It's just like in the movie The Flash. Have you guys seen The Flash?
I haven't seen it yet. I want to watch it.
I have a clip that I wanted to show you that Mark, our dear friend Mark, wanted me to share. So let me.
Yeah.
Can I do that with you guys?
You want to present it, Brian?
Yeah. Let me just dig it up real quick.
I'm trying not to hum their songs because I don't want you to get a copyright thing. Because I know somebody was writing that. I'm like, I'm a Beatles fan. I mean, I found like 6 or 7 different song changes.
Okay, you guys see this?
That's crazy.
So Mark wanted me to share this. Let me see if I can go full screen. Okay.
Yeah, a few people are in the chat.
In the movie The Flash, they showed Looney Tunes with TOONS. And who was that?
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, right there on the computer screen.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
don't wanna
How come that
I don't
didn't
wanna
change?
spoil I do not wanna spoil too much of this movie, but he does end up the Flash ends up in an alternate universe, parallel universe, and
Oh,
where Looney Tunes is correct the way we remember it.
no.
The 1989 Batman, the actor, he gets to meet him, the Batman from that world.
The movie The Flash. And here we have
It's crazy.
So there was something else though from that movie.
Do you remember?
Who was that guy that
This is the movie The Flash.
played Marty McFly before it was?
And here we have.
Do you remember?
Stoltz. His
before-
last name was Stoltz.
Yes, Stoltz.
Yeah.
Yes, he's actually the real Marty McFly in that timeline. In this
Yes.
timeline here,
Yep.
Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz. Thank you. Anyway, I thought
Crazy
I'd share
because
that
they
with you
had that
guys.
whole they had that whole movie Back to the Future filmed with him,
Yeah, they did.
and then they changed it. They
Yep.
changed all actors. That's the crazy thing about it.
What was the reason why he's no longer was in the movie? Was there like something that happened?
They didn't
To the
think he
actor?
fit the part. They changed their minds
Yeah.
about him.
And then I guess Michael J. Fox was the next runner-up because he was from Family Ties.
Oh no, they
Crazy.
originally
Teen
wanted
Wolf,
Michael
Teen
J.
Wolf.
Fox.
They
It's just
did.
that he wasn't available because
He
he was
wasn't available doing a movie, wasn't he?
Teen Wolf.
there's-
Yeah.
Yeah, Teen Wolf.
But there was never
Yeah.
any trace, guys. There was never any trace of Eric Stoltz in that movie, but now there is. There's a
Yep.
couple of scenes you can actually see him, like when Biff confronts Marty in the it was in the first movie, and you remember when Marty trips Biff, where Biff falls down,
Yeah, falls to the ground.
right when he's about to punch him, to punch Biff. That's when you see like a glimpse of Eric Stoltz. Before that was not there. There was never any glimpse of Eric Stoltz in that movie. Like, who the heck is this guy? You know?
It's funny because I think he disappeared off the map after that too. It's so weird.
I know. You never heard from the guy. Like, what other
He
things was he
did
in?
play the mask in that Rocky Dennis movie.
The Mask?
Oh, the other mask.
Not Jim Carrey. I'm talking about the mask, like about Rocky Dennis, the guy who had the deformed face.
I know who
Cher
you're
was in that
talking about
movie.
now.
Played his mother.
Yeah.
He was the one who played that character, Eric
Ah.
Stoltz.
Somebody said he was the drug dealer in Pulp Fiction. Oh,
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah. it was.
Oh, okay.
He's been around. He's been in some movies and stuff.
It was bad. Bad that we got it. We don't even start remembering it now.
Anyway, Sandy, is there anything else that we need to cover, or have we covered all bases?
No, I sent you the video.
Hang on.
The video.
It's
Oh,
it's in the group chat.
Okay. You want me, that's the last one?
Yeah, we were. Well, I was going to ask Lee if there's anything else you want to talk about before we closed up, but I want to show this because this video, I guess it would fall under glitch in the matrix, but it's, well, you just have to see it.
All right, let me see if I can go full.
Have to see it to believe it. I don't know who originally posted it on TikTok, but because again, I saw it on Zeducation.
All right, check this out, guys. This is Barstool Sports.
Can you make that full screen? 'Cause it's gonna be harder to see, very hard to see without it.
Yeah, just
Sorry.
All right, there you go, guys.
Okay.
I can't believe that the people deny the Mandela effect when stuff like this happens.
What in the world?
Do that again. Wait a minute. I missed that. Do that again. I missed something.
1, 2, 3.
A goat and 2 horses and a mini pony. I can't. Or a sheep. I don't know what it is. Something's running.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I missing here?
They're just running down the highway. I don't know.
Where did they come from?
Exactly. I don't know.
You think they got loose maybe from somewhere?
All 4?
Yeah, they're in a
really
gang. It's their animal gang. It's their gang.
Animals, yes, animals behave differently now. I don't know. It feels like the animals are different in this reality.
They're smarter. They are much more intelligent.
Definitely feel like
Or
they're
I've
way
been hearing
more
more and more
intelligent.
cats are like actually saying more and more words now. More and more videos are showing cats like saying words, which
It's
is
funny
weird.
because
I'm like, I've never in my
last
life heard a
month,
cat say anything other than meow.
the last month, my cat got a lot more talkative than usual. But she doesn't say. I mean, she doesn't
Yeah.
say words. She tries,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
he talks a
I've been
lot more
hearing him
now.
like, "Are you outside? Or are you coming up?" And "I'm cold," and "I'm hungry." "I love you." I mean, these are like words
What?
that
Oh,
to
yeah.
say. Oh,
I
yeah.
saw
And
Hey,
there's
maybe
also a lot of
cats
videos.
can talk in this reality now.
And there's also a lot of videos where people are training their cats and dogs to talk to them with buttons on the floor. Like,
Yeah, I've
some of them
seen
are
the ones
funny.
for
The cat's
dogs.
just like, food. Food now. Food.
Yeah.
The buttons freak me out, guys. That is
Wait,
something new.
wait,
The
hold on.
buttons.
What buttons, Teresa?
I'll send you a picture. I'll send you a short video clip, Brian. Give me a minute.
Yeah, those are pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm like blown away how they can communicate now with these buttons. I'm like, no way. It's crazy. This is like a new fad now with animals. They talk through the buttons.
Yeah.
Well, I
And then
think
they're
they have a
training
lot.
dogs to drive. It's like, how can a
I
dog
think they were
drive? They're
told.
actually trained.
I think they were told not to show their skills when they got here on Earth, and now they're like, well, we're gonna show these people who do more.
Hey, Desert
Here,
Flower
Brian.
says Desert Flower says our cat
Does it
says
say?
hello.
There's a short for you to show.
What?
Just don't play sound, Brian.
There was one.
But make
Well,
sure you
the
put it
video,
full screen.
the video I watched, they were videotaping their cat secretly, and the cat didn't know he was being videotaped. And he actually said, "You guys coming to bed?" And then,
What?
like, as soon as the cat saw him, he started going meow. Like, as soon as the
Wow.
cat noticed he was being videotaped, he immediately started meowing.
No.
It was
Oh,
like,
Oh, I need to find that video. I gotta see if it's because I'm very skeptical with videos because you can edit them.
yeah,
And
Whoa.
I gotta see that.
I have to find it. I
Brian, can you make
Look at
that
all those
bigger?
buttons. Look at all those buttons.
They have words on them and they've trained them and they talk to their owners with the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll talk to the cat with the buttons.
Is that any better, you guys?
Fucking cute cat. Where my cat's at?
Puppy.
I wonder where my cat's at.
Wow.
Pretty intelligent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the dogs too. The dogs do it. Like both species do it now, right? Cats and dogs.
Yeah, people are
Dogs were the
training both their
first.
cats and dogs.
That is crazy. That means in this reality the animals are smarter now.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, it was the other day around here. It was raining cats and dogs.
I saw your video that you posted with you and Seth. That's
Yeah.
crazy. You did make it home safely, right?
Yeah, we made it home safely. Thank goodness. Thank
It
God.
looked like hurricane weather when you were in.
Well, it was. You know how you get those storms, that T-storms that just kind of bow out,
Yeah.
like a C curve almost when they're
Mhm.
coming across. When you get that, you're going to get those high winds and everything else that comes along with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey Lee, I meant to ask you. You said you were from Florida, right?
Yep.
What area?
Yeah.
I used to live in Orlando from 1963 to 2004. I grew up in Florida, so in Orlando.
I'm actually I live in Leesburg, right about 30 minutes away from
Oh,
Orlando.
oh, okay. You're more northern,
yeah, north up.
and
Yeah.
I was
A
like
lot of
about,
villages.
I lived like 10, 15 minutes from Orlando International, if you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking
I
about.
live north of it.
Yeah, I
Yep.
live. I'm about 15 minutes away from the town they call the Villages.
No, I
Wait,
don't miss.
I've
I
been
don't
there. I've
miss
been to
the
the Villages.
humidity.
That's a
Yeah.
nice
Been
little
to the
community.
Villages?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yep, and the
Wow.
stories are true.
Are you near any
Never heard
beaches? Are you near any beaches where you're at?
No, I mean I'm landlocked technically. I guess I got the
Oh,
Gulf on one side, I got Daytona or the Atlantic on the other side.
ooh,
Where I used to
Daytona
live
Beach.
was where I grew up. Well, went to school was in Niceville, Florida. Well, Destin area was on the beach, so
Uh
that's where I went
huh.
to school. So I've been in Florida, gosh, since I've been 14. I lived in Europe when I was a kid. So
I miss the beach living in Las Vegas. We don't have beaches here. We got Lake Mead and
late
Laughlin, and that's about it as far as water goes. But yeah, I miss Cocoa Beach. I used to go there a lot. Cocoa.
Cocoa,
Yep.
nice
Yep.
beach. I
And
prefer the
saw
Gulf
sharks
side
too.
myself.
I
Oh
saw
yeah.
sharks. Crazy.
You know, Navarre Beach is not Navarre Beach or New Smyrna is the #1 shark bites beach
Oh
capital in
really?
the
New
world.
Smyrna?
Yeah, yep. And we've already
Wow.
had 3 this year. So
No. It's a hungry sharks.
actually from Jayville.
Wow.
I'm from Florida. I've lived here for gosh, I feel like all my life now.
I I get homesick sometimes because I've been in Las Vegas since 2004. Been living here, and I do get homesick. I miss mostly the water and the beaches, and my memories growing up there, going to school and elementary. My whole life was there with my parents, and they both passed away. So those are all my memories are at. Can't take those
My me-
memories from me.
my memories
Yeah.
is Panama City when I was a kid when MTV used to be there when in the early '90s or in the '90s.
Uh huh.
That was about yeah.
Wow.
That was good. Yeah.
Yep. They
I,
can't take our
I
memories from us. That's the thing
Well,
about the Mandela effect.
okay,
We know what we remember.
but why did they make 2 MTVs? They made MTV and then MTV2.
Yeah, why did they do that?
well, 2 was supposed to be. ah, I remember did that because they wanted to do one just for music and then one for their shows, and it just
Mm-hmm.
they ended up making like now MTV Music or something like that jams now where they just play music now. So I hated that. Nobody remembers the old MTV days like we do. So I hate
Oh
it
yeah,
too.
I remember
Yeah.
it.
Hey, who remembers the Twilight
Watch it. I
Zone
mean, I think I probably watched
marathons?
them.
Who remembers Twilight Zone marathons on New Year's Eve?
I do.
Oh,
Yep.
I don't remember.
I don't remember
I
that.
do. I'd stay up late watching them. Yeah, I love the Twilight Zones.
That was back before on demand. We're so grateful now we have on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now it's
way
like, well,
before
what do we
Nick at
watch?
Night.
We have so many options, huh?
There's way too much stuff now to watch. You'll never run out.
I said
Everybody
that when
has their go-to movie, right? You always have your go-to movie. If nothing else, if everything else fails, you always have that one movie you can fall back on.
Yeah.
watch
Back to the
Ghostbusters.
Future triology's mine. And Sound
Mine
of
too.
Music. Yeah, love them. Love them.
Well, yeah. I'm an 80s
Yeah.
person, so I guess if there's an 80s movie on or I'll go back to the 80s.
The
Definitely.
Goonies. The Goonies. I
The
always wish
Goonies.
they made a second Goonies.
I actually heard they
Yeah.
were, but we
Hey,
we
did
might
you
not
guys?
see a real movie again. So,
Any game players out here? Any gamers in the chat? Yes. Are you a gamer, Lee?
yeah, I game too. Yeah.
So are you familiar with Twisted Metal?
Yes.
Gosh,
They
Oh,
just came. They
that's an
came out with a
oldie.
new series. They got a new series out called Twisted Metal.
I saw that. I haven't seen it yet, but I did see it. I'm one of those. I wait until the series is done and I go binge it. Try to keep away from it all. I'm glad to binge it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did see that.
I don't. They'll do that now. Netflix usually releases the full season. That's what I love about Netflix. If you watch any of the other platforms, typically like Paramount Plus or something, usually they'll release one episode per week, and then you're kind of like, okay, well, maybe I'll just wait till the whole thing comes out, and then I'll binge it.
That's all I usually do.
You
It's like,
guys know that
wait.
Paramount Plus now has Showtime included?
It does?
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess
Wow.
Showtime wasn't making enough money. Now Stars is one of those that may fall by the wayside too.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. It's like
I think Amazon might pick
you
them
can't
up.
pay me to watch Stars for some reason. I can't seem to get into it. You know,
Amazon seems to get a
HBO.
lot of them now. Yeah,
What's
Stars.
that?
Amazon Prime seems to be getting a lot of the Stars now.
I think so. I think you're right. Now Stars used to have a contract with Netflix, and that was before Netflix. That was actually they were getting big at the time, and I guess Stars was like, okay, well, we're not seeing any of that money, that profit, so they decided to go off on their own and form their own platform or whatever. But
Mhm.
you know, the point is, like, Stars, um, just not enough selection. You know, for me, not enough selection. Um,
Now, Lee, are there any Mandela effects you'd like to show us or talk about before we head out?
Actually, no. We covered basically the ones I was talking about, and I don't have anything to show. So I'm
Okay.
trying to. I don't know. Yeah, I think
You're good. You're good.
yeah.
He'll
Yeah.
think of one later.
It'll come to me when I'm going to sleep. I'm like, oh no. No,
I should have told
we covered.
them.
Yeah. It'll be a video like, man, I forgot something. Here we go. Like I
but
basically something else for fun.
really, Lee,
Well,
where
if
do
you
you see
forgot something, you
yourself?
just come back for part 2, right?
I want to know where you got your name Crazies Lab. I wanted to ask you about that.
That's
Where
a
did you
good
come up with that
question.
name?
Well,
Yeah.
Crazies, that's just because I think all of us, we all feel like we're in a place where we don't know if we're sane or not. And I think, a lot
Uh-huh.
of us are having crazy thoughts, crazy, that's having a crazy life. And Lab is actually just my
Mm-hmm.
initials. Lab is actually my name. It's
It
reality.
is? I thought it was Lee.
Yeah.
Lee?
No, Lee. Yeah, Lee
His
is my
initials,
name, but
Teresa.
it's my initials. Lee Allen Vargas. Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Okay. I thought you were like the lab. I was thinking like a laboratory with the
Like
mad
Lab. Yeah,
scientist.
no. No, it could be. It can go different ways. I've even put living and breathing could go that way too. But
Wow.
it
That's a
definitely is just
great,
my initials.
that's a good name for yourself. I just use my own name. Like this, I'm Teresa.
But I,
And Sandy goes by SandyDiVa, right, Sandy?
indeed.
It's my name shortened.
But it sounds like people are saying you're a diva.
Well, that's the first part of my last name, though.
I know. But it's cool, though. It's cool.
I'm giving everybody a break because I don't want them. Everyone butchers my last name. So.
Cause aren't you Italian, Sandy? Aren't you Italian?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Heritage, not for real.
Oh.
I'm not from Italy.
We all come from somewhere.
We come from. Hey, we all come from. Most of us come from the Sagittarius arm.
That's
yeah.
We all came from one source. We're all one.
Not the Orion spur.
Not the Orion belt. Where do you come from? His belt.
I like your tattoos. How many do you have, Lee? I see you got tattoos.
Wow. What's it about? Let's see. Now I'm on 8.
8 on
now?
your arm?
Yeah.
Like on your arm or legs or? Ooh, that's cool.
Those are my psychedelic substances.
No.
Well, I can't show you. Body, mind, and soul. That's psilocybin, magic mushroom. Study
that's
of your
cool.
body. LSD, study of your mind, expansion of your mind. And DMT, expansion of your soul and your spirit. That's kind of how I look at that. And then I have his pain, our gain, my prayer hands.
Wow.
I just got this one. And this
what
one
is that
basically the tree of life with the atom. And it's kind of got the old atom, if you want to put on it.
That's cool.
the metric stuff, and then a little rose for my mom. So my mom had a rose on her hand on a tattoo.
Aww.
At that, and
Brian,
then my tribe.
Brian's got a tattoo, but I think his is residue. Brian, don't you have a tattoo on your arm?
Superman
Yes.
tattoo, right?
Is it Superman or what is it? One of yours is like residue.
Oh, let me see. I don't know if you can see with this kind of light that I'm working with here, but I can show you. There's my
Flash it, Brian.
Mortal Kombat tattoo.
Uh-huh.
Any Mortal Kombat fans out there? And
No.
Superman with the red and see the red bar flag. You see? I don't know if you can see that.
You're not
It's
presenting.
kind of fading.
Yeah.
You see the red bar? The flag is in the S.
We can't see you,
aren't
Brian.
presenting, Brian.
Am I-
You're not presenting.
We only see you in the
Really,
corner.
really tiny.
Sorry.
Tiny Brian. There you that's a little bit better.
Wait.
You have to make yourself the big there you go. Now you got it.
Okay,
there
now
you
you
go.
can see it.
There you go.
Red bar flag. See it?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And
Even
there's
the
Mortal
Superman.
Kombat. Mortal Kombat right there.
That is cool. That's cool. Brian, you need to get more tattoos.
Well, I'm thinking about getting a red and blue dragon put on my back in the shape of a heart.
Ah. I heard that tattoos are very addicting. Is that true?
What I mean is two dragons. I'll show you the tattoo. I'll show you so you can see it.
All right. Uh-oh.
Does anyone else in the chat have any questions before we head out?
Yes. Let's go look.
You can ask for anyone on the panel. It doesn't have to just be for Lee, but if you have a question for Lee
Oh, Splatter's
or any of
there.
us, feel free.
Did you guys ever do any shout outs? Or we didn't really do any didn't you guys do any shout outs?
We're gonna do shout outs before we head out at the end.
Okay.
All right.
You see this tattoo? That's what I want to get on my back.
That's pretty cool, Brian.
Thanks.
I like it. That looked good on you.
Okay. What were you saying, Sandy?
I was saying to the chat, if they have any other questions, now would be the time to ask. And that at the very end, we're going to do shout outs before we head out.
Cool. I want to know, did Crazy Lee, did you have any questions for anybody on the panel? I know we've been asking you questions, but do you have any questions for any of us? I thought it was a good idea.
Yes, it is. I mean, if I got one question, and I would, I'm trying to think how to. The one question I would have to ask is
to all of us or just one?
To all of them,
okay.
to everybody.
Okay.
Has the Mandela effect made you a better person? Overall?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
For me, yes. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's made me a better person, but
I think
it's completely changed my life. Like
I think it's made me a better Christian. It's made me a better Christian because I realize that this is, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Is like, okay, this is definitely hell right now we're in. But most definitely, I feel a lot stronger in my faith. My faith in God is stronger.
Yes, I do. I completely feel different as well. I see things in a different light now more than I did before. Things are more clear to me, if that makes any sense. Things are more clear, not so foggy. Things are more realer too, which sometimes can be hard because it's more hardening on you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
No, that makes
being more awake.
Complete sense. Yeah.
Lee, I will say this.
That's exactly.
I will say this before we go. Try as much as you can to be consistent with your videos because that will get you more followers.
Yes.
try to do like weekly or however you wish to do it, daily or weekly, monthly even. But I would shoot for weekly if you can. You know.
I
Hi,
usually
Captain
try.
Kirk.
I try to stay. I try to do at least 3 a week. That's
Hmm.
like my goal. And now
If you
since I
can,
got this new thing, I could start pumping out these videos like I need to. So I think that's it.
yes, exactly. Yeah, I think we're just looking for a place to come to and gather and discuss these things because
Yep. Yep.
I don't know it could be very mind blowing if the first time you're like if you're new here and you're just seeing the
Uh,
Mandela Effect for the first time. Oh my goodness, this
I
is it's a real eye opener.
It's like stepping into 10th grade, being a kindergartner. You know,
I freaked out, Lee, when I first seen my Mandela Effects. I freaked out, didn't I, Brian? I was like crying. I went through stages of like shock and depression and denial. Like, no, you're not seeing this. You're crazy. And I think that's why people don't want to talk about the Mandela effects because I think they're afraid. They don't want to know that, hey, my reality is not what I remember. It's different now. And I think
and
that's why people don't want to accept the Mandela effect. They don't want change. Change, it can be scary, you know? Does that make
and that's
sense?
it's one. Yeah, it does. I think that is definitely one thing that Mandela effect does do. Anything that changes your perspective on your entire life. I think that's what, especially with the Mandela effect, especially for the generations that are going through this. It's the older generations, our generations. It's that gap
Uh-huh.
in between it, and I think that's really hard because we were taught such a certain way when everything seemed normal. It was like nothing could be, nothing could change that.
You can't,
We're going crazy.
how do you trust your eyes, Lee, when things are changing in front of you? I mean, I've watched
Right.
words merge in front of me and I'm like rubbing my eyes like, I'm not drinking alcohol. I don't smoke pot. I don't drink. I don't do any of that stuff. But I'm watching my reality change in front of me. How can,
And see, I do
don't you have to question your reality? Like, well, why are things changing in front of
every
my
day.
eyes?
Every day. And I think for me, I'm the opposite. Me, I'm like, I do use those substances and I'm like a psychedelic night. And sometimes I'm like, I have to pinch myself. I'm like, am I awake? Am I seeing this the way I think I'm seeing
Yeah.
this? And
Am I
like,
sleeping? Does it ever
yeah.
feel something like you're in a dream world and you're like, this is all a dream and I'm just going to wake up tomorrow and everything's going to be normal again, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Guys,
Or I'll go to sleep and want to wake up, go to sleep and like, oh, what's going to be different tomorrow? And
Uh,
that's the hard part, what's going to change tomorrow. And something changes every day. And it's even Mandela effects with people getting the new ones. When you first get into it, there's a new one every single day.
Sandy, I don't know how Sandy does, but Sandy's been hitting him like right, Sandy?
Oh, I have a
well,
backlog of new effects a mile
Sandy has
long.
like, I don't know
Sandy,
how many she's got, but I can't
Teresa.
keep track of hers. Yeah.
Brian, there's a question for you in the chat.
Oh, what's the
Yes.
question?
It's from Mustard Seed of Faith. She says, Brian, question to you. You are a Christian like me. How does the concept of quantum immortality fit in with your worldview and religious belief and it is appointed from man to die once, but after this the judgment, Hebrews 9:27.
Hold on, what's the question again?
You are a Christian like me. How does the concept of quantum immortality fit in with your worldview and religious belief and it is appointed for men to die once, but after this, the judgment. Hebrews 9:27. That's the question.
Okay, I have to see it in front of me. So
It's in your chat.
I don't know about quantum immortality. I don't like that. I don't like those two words together, I guess. I feel like when you die, you either go to heaven or hell or some in between, like a holding place. Like in Beetlejuice, before you pass on to the next. That's what I've always pictured it. If you're not holy enough to make it into heaven, but you're not evil to go to hell, there has to be some kind of holding place, I suppose. But
Brian, can you show the next, the second part of the question
okay,
on
the
the screen?
second
'Cause people
part,
are asking for the Hebrews verse.
yeah, Hebrews 9, verse 27 says, "As it is appointed for men to die once, but after this, the judgment." Yeah, what do you guys think about that one? That's a tough one. I don't know.
I don't know about putting our minds into a quantum computer like metaverse so we can live longer. I think that beats the purpose
What is can
of
Mustard
life.
Seed of Faith? Can you explain? I guess quantum immortality. I mean,
But on the other sense, technically we all have internal life anyway. But it's I mean, I guess I look at that question as we won't get judged by the highest if we put ourselves or our mind into a system before it's that time. I think that's the mark of the beast. I don't know. Maybe that
okay.
think of quantum immortality differently. I don't know.
So I'm just doing some quick research on it. Basically, quantum immortality is a thought experiment stemming from the many worlds interpretation in quantum mechanics, and the interpretation um, poses that all possible outcomes of quantum measurements are physically realized in some world or universe. Um, Quantum immortality, therefore, suggests that a conscious observer cannot cease to exist and will always find themselves surviving in one of these worlds, regardless of the odds. So, in other words, when you die in one universe, you end up in another.
It's kind of
That's
like
what that.
every action you make has a reaction,
But at
and
some
flip
point,
flop
your
to
body,
different things.
will decompose physically. So, I don't know if
Yeah,
I subscribe to that theory. Hebrews 9:27. It's interpreted often to mean that each person has one life to live on earth, followed by death, then judgment by God. So, if you look at the face value, quantum immortality might seem to contrast to Hebrews 9:27, as it suggests a form of continuous survival as opposed to a singular death. However, there is one thing to note here. So, quantum immortality is a theoretical concept rooted in physics. So, it's not necessarily a spiritual or metaphysical concept. And it's more about consciousness and its interaction with various potential universes rather than a soul or a spiritual existence.
But
Which
wait,
is,
basically not wanting to die. So
you guys know
wait.
you know the concept of Hebrews, right?
Yeah, but I have a way to reconcile the two.
Okay.
I can't say that I believe it, but I have a way to reconcile it.
Okay. Yeah. How could one exist without the
So
other,
if
or how can they exist together?
if
Is what I'm
quantum
saying.
immortality is real, and when we die we shift to another reality or timeline, however you want to call it, we're still
That's a
living
good
that
question.
same life because we're shifting to our alternate self. So it's still our one life. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're
I've
saying.
heard
We're
of
not
that
shifting to
before.
another body. You know what I'm saying? We're shifting to ourselves and
There's a reason.
continuing the
There's a
same
reason why
life.
there is reasons why we were brought here. I'm not sure. We haven't quite figured that out, but I think together we may get there. You know, I think we're here for a reason. All of us watching this tonight, all of us here are here for a reason. The Mandela Effect has brought us together, and right now we don't. I just like to conclude with a prayer, okay, guys, because we really need guidance. And dear Heavenly Father, we approach your divine grace with hearts full of wonder and confusion, seeking peace for our minds troubled by the Mandela Effect. Bless us with clarity, strength, and understanding as we navigate these inexplicable alterations of our perceived reality and everything. Grant us patience, Lord, for these moments that we feel disconnected from our friends and family. Help us to bridge the gap with love, patience, and humility. Bless them too, Lord, with the fortitude and empathy to bear with us. to support us and provide comfort when these things overtake us. Guide us all toward unity and shared understanding, fostering mutual respect and acceptance in these challenging times. We ask all this, trusting in your enduring love and infinite wisdom. In your holy name, amen. That's how I'd like to conclude there.
I agree.
Well, you're going to
Definitely
conclude
confusion
with,
part.
Well, I think the confusion lies in because you have differing opinions of the same thing, and you know, there's certain things like I have an anchor memory. When you have anchor memories, no one's going to tell you otherwise. You know, hey, that's what you remember. You know, but we need patience and humility is what we need also. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to conclude with that. Does anyone else have anything?
well, you should do a shout out, Brian, because you can see both chats. We didn't do shout out yet.
Oh, I thought we did. No,
No, we have not. Nope.
I've been displaying the text the whole way. I see Captain Kirk's here, Mustard Seed of Faith, File of Fire, Ragami Mikado, Tanya Sue's here, Noise Guru. Have I mentioned John Nada?
You have not.
Okay, Moon Freedom, Super Mario Brothers 3, DD74, welcome. Adam for Christ is here. Splatter. I can't read those numbers. I guess that's 420. Splatter 420. Have I missed anyone?
Oh my gosh, so many.
Go Kart Bob.
Philo Fire.
DD74.
I said File of Fire. I thought I said File of Fire, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Sandy, you're
Do
obviously
you see
in the
him?
chat.
Did you get Super Mario
Say
Brothers?
hi to Super Mario. Go Kart,
Yep, Archie.
Bob.
Yep, I said those. Artsy 909's here. Wow, thank you guys for coming.
Wait, there's more. I know there's more. Hold on. We got Captain Kirk. We got Hellion. We got
Yeah, Sandy, I said Captain Kirk already. We got
Lord
Hellion's here.
Frybread.
Lord Frybread.
Desert Flower. Let's see. SKM is here. Mark Warner. And there were a lot more people earlier, but they're not in my chat anymore. It disappears after a while. But I know Analog Line was here. We also had, oh, my brain's not even working.
William was one of the first ones in here.
Yeah, we've got to cut, Sandy. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. That's why I was saying we were.
It's like 1 o'clock in the eastern side, East Coast.
Yeah,
we got to.
Mm-hmm.
I want to.
You're wide awake,
our
Lee.
Guests. Yeah. I want to thank our guest Lee for being here. I want to thank everyone from Lee's channel for coming here to support him.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, thank you, Lee. It was so nice to meet you.
So nice
it was
to
a
meet
pleasure.
Thank you, Lee.
You saw me. You saw me posting in your thing today, right? You saw me.
Yes,
posting?
I did.
That was me.
Yes,
my avatar.
I like your avatar.
Facebook avatar. Yeah, I made her look like me with my red hair, except she's skinnier.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Oh, I loved it. I love being with you. I appreciate this. Was an honor. This is amazing. This was exciting.
Well, where do we go from here? We just keep hanging in there, okay? Because if you hang in there,
keep finding those new Mandela effects.
You got to ride the waves. You got to ride the waves, my friend. Okay.
Oh,
you know all about that Crazies Lab being in Florida. You got to ride the waves.
Gotta ride it. I live it every day here, so. But no, man, I appreciate it. I mean, and y'all, this whole thing right here, like I've been in a little rut, trying to find myself, and this will get my voice back a little bit. And thank you, y'all, for y'all's time. It's your time too, and I appreciate that. Y'all are amazing, and for everybody who's in my chat or in the chat from my side, do show them love. They do a wonderful job. They do a wonderful job on Mandela Effects. they're kind of like behind the scenes that really nobody talks about, and they need a lot more. They need a lot more people talk about them. So I appreciate
Yes.
y'all.
Aww.
Yay. Aw,
Yes,
appreciate
thank you
the
so
work.
much for coming. I even stayed awake. Sandy, tell him I'm usually not awake this late.
Yeah, she usually
Guys,
cuts
don't-
out after 15 minutes.
Guys,
Yeah,
don't forget to
I
subscribe.
force myself to stay awake.
Guys, don't forget to show some love. If you're just joining us, please subscribe to Crazy Lab's channel.
I'm putting that in the chat right now.
And my group, and my Mandela Effect group.
I'm going to do that too. And Emmy
Thank you.
Sagittarius Arm just popped in, and so did Hanavi.
Hi, Emmy
I saw that.
Sagittarius
Yeah.
Arm.
Hey, Amy Sagittarius Arm.
And anybody who missed this video, it will be posted up and you can rewatch it or watch it where you left off, right? And I
Yeah.
think once you have this video on your channel too, Lee,
Yeah, I'm
you're gonna
yeah,
upload it.
I'm gonna cut it and unload it and do that stuff too. and it's gonna be
Perfect,
there on mine
perfect,
too,
perfect.
so.
And then your members can see you on this channel
You hear
and
there?
Sandy's channel too.
Yeah, yeah. Put them on both and send them that
Hopefully we
way.
get all
and
the questions.
All right,
I'm
and Crazy Lab,
furiously-
you're welcome to stay for about 5 or 10 minutes after the broadcast if you'd like to chat for a minute. So,
Yeah, you don't have to
but I am
cut
going to
out.
go to I am going to go to the outro. Okay, guys. Have a great
Okay,
evening.
we'll
God
mute.
bless everyone.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.